The Insomniac sitting spins now on the air for all the night freaks who can't sleep. I'm the Insomniac, Juvan, and today we're gonna take a look at some of my flicks. So you're getting where you fit in. Sit down, shut up, and listen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to flick it. Welcome to the Insomniac Sit and Spin. 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 Insomniac sit and spin, about to be live, hanging with each other, talking shit about knives. We sit and we spin, and we vibe in the chat. We listen to Juvan just trying to describe where he's at. It is a good time, but who is this fool who talks about knives and EDC tools? Insomniac sit and spin, a weekly live stream. You're in the right place if you know what I mean. Insomniac sit and spin, a weekly live stream. You're in the right place if you know what I mean.
Yeah. You files in the word. What a wait. Late night creeps where the shadows grin. Juvan's in the cut, let the games begin. With a flick of the blade, we dive in the sin. It's a marathon groove, not a race to win. The clock don't sleep, the knives don't pause. Chasing thrills, no time for applause. The world spins mad on Juvan's claws, where the edge cuts deep in the night's great jaws. Sit and spin under the neon glow. Wide awake where the insomniacs go. Feel the steel flash, let the adrenaline flow. Juvan's night flicks, it's the live late show. It's the live late show. Right away. It's the live late show. We're too sharp to dull, too fast to catch. Each blade is the spark making midnight hatch. In the zone we own on this Twitch dispatch, where the world sits still but the vibes still match. Time's a blur in the sleepless den. Every move's a twist, that slice in the zen. Juvan's got the rhythm, the pulse of man. Locked in the spin till the morning end. Sit and spin under the neon glow. Wide awake where the insomniacs go. Feel the steel flash, let the adrenaline flow. Juvan's night flicks, it's the live late show. It's the live late show. With a wake, with a ride. Play. Late night patty whack, give a dog a bone. Grab a snack, sit right back and never be alone. It's time for Insomniac sit and spin, a knife live stream and a gathering of friends. Insomniac sit and spin is about to start, so come on in and do your part. Juvan's Night Flicks is the channel you seek for new knife reviews and a show every week. Fight. Insomniac night, patty whack, give a dog a bone. Grab a snack, sit right back and never be alone. It's time for Insomniac sit and spin, a knife live stream and a gathering of friends. Insomniac sit and spin is about to start, so come on in and do your part. Juvan's Night Flicks is the channel you seek for new knife reviews and a show every week.
went out because we only had a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke 'em, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes. And if you find him, you should light him up a few. He's getting higher on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes.
I told you to go to bed already, would you please?
I'm not tired!
I told you 5 times to go to bed.
Oh, come on, Jim, please.
Hey, come on, come on.
Is this what you had in mind when you asked me to marry you?
No.
What is up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here. It is Tuesday. It is time for Insomniac Sit and Spin. Hope you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can't. I'm going to start with some hellos real quick. So if you can't hear me, I'm not looking at the bottom of the screen, so that really doesn't do much good for either of us, does it? I'm going to assume that you can hear me. I'm going to assume you can see me. And I'm going to start giving you guys the love you deserve for stopping to see me. What is up, Space Ghost? Channel member, good to see you, my friend. Henry G is in the house, channel member 2. Good to see you, brother. We got Mr. Groundfog in the house. What is up? Be Shady. Uh-oh. It jumped on me. Be Shady's in the house. Channel member. What's up, brother? Good to see you. And then Neil McKenzie is a new channel member. What is up, Neil? Thank you, brother. Man hug for you on a Tuesday. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Saturdays, come stop by 2:30. It's just a little secret word game. Marco, what is up? Good to see you, brother. And we got Paul Mills is in the house early. Channel member, what is up, Paul? Good to see you, man. Joe Isabella. Channel member, what is up, my friend? Good to see you, Joe. We got Said Stevie in the house. What is up, brother? Said Stevie, good to see you, man. We're going to do an unpacking of sorts here in just a little bit. Ought to be pretty cool, From 1931, Mr. Tactical Terry. We've got, there's Neil. What is up, channel member? Good to see you, brother. Thank you. Kevin Smith and Knives in the house. And channel member, what is up, brother? Hopefully you guys are ready to have a good time. I've had it's weird to say, a long week hanging out around knives. Now we're going to hang out and talk about lives. But what I've got on the table is some stuff that I've been kind of walking on, hanging on, and some really cool knives. A lot of them from Kaiser, Kaiser's new stuff. But then my favoritist is the Model 1. First one I've ever really hung out with. This is a V7. Got a flipper tab and thumb studs. Magna Cut, contoured G10 titanium backspacer, $249. American buy of the day, if you ask me, in my opinion. Reversible clip works very, very well. I loves it. Geek Machinist channel member, what is up, brother? It's just a great size for me. Feels really good in the hand. I'm glad to get to review it. Good to see you, brother. What is up? What is up? So I've been hanging around a knife store for like 4 hours for several days a week, and the people I meet, holy shit. Definitely entertaining to be in front of the public again. Because there are other cool things they do down there. They sharpen not just knives, but they sharpen a lot of scissors. So we get a lot of people that bring scissors and stuff in there to get it sharpened and whatnot. See you, Rick. What is up? Good evening. Good evening. But I've seen some doozies. Met some really cool people down there and met some people that are just, different. They have a big, I guess, audience of the case knives. They're a huge case dealer. I'm learning more about case knives and traditionals and actually appreciating them, I guess, a little bit more just by hanging out and looking at them. The new side buster, and I forget the name of the other little one that they just released in S35, and they've taken the nail nick out and replaced it with a little hole, because I didn't know this. Case knives have always stamped their blades with a hologram. I don't know how the hell they do that, but they stamp them. And since they moved to S35, they can't. So they laser cut them, and that's why they've got the nail nick. The nail nick thing is now a hole. It's easier to access, but they're not stamping the blades because the S35 won't stamp, I guess. But I found that pretty interesting. I don't even know how that would work. I guess you have a mold, and then the implement that you're smashing it with is matching the other side of the blade. So who knows how they do what they do. But really cool. Sold a sword the other day for a guy who was getting married. I think I said this on Friday Night Flicks, but he had to cut a wedding cake, and they'd left it at the their other sword wherever they were from, or where one of them was from. So that was a first for me. Sell a lot of traditional stuff. Microtech. There's a guy that comes in, really cool guy, who almost there every other day. He's trading stuff. So that's what I like about it, is seeing the stuff that's coming in. Kind of weird, unique stuff. Like not weird, unique, but a Demko machine ground 8020 sitting down there now. 2 Spartan Harseys, the large ones. One of them's an angel and the other's a dragon, which are the patterns that are colorful. I don't know what you call it. I guess anode and the laser engraving. They're pretty cool. And sold a little Shiro that I had my eye on, the E Knives exclusive. I forget. I'm not a Shiro guy, so I don't know the different names or styles, but it's a small little one. When I say small, probably 7.5 inches open, maybe 8, 7.5 probably. Sweet little knife. And we will see what everybody is carrying here. I'm carrying a Lamia in crew wear. That's what I carry today. Need to clean it off. It's got a lot of crud from cutting open boxes, but it does that very, very well. Really thinly ground. Not as thin as that American Blade Works. I carried it yesterday. And then in my back pocket, I'm carrying my Lucky Dog knives, River Dog, with Osage orange something wood. Osage orange, I think that's the name of the wood. It's got a wooden handle. I think it's Osage orange, but it's a very thin, slicey blade. This one's AEBL. I've not had to sharpen it yet, but I'll look forward to when I get to sharpen it, because it's pretty straightforward blade. Geek Machinist is sharing something. Let's see what we got. I have to kind of be careful not to stab myself in the ass. Sweet. This is what he carried today. Osage. Osage. See, I learn something every day. And the person I learn it from mostly is Brother Joe Isabella. He speaks wisdom, knowledge, and wisdom. And this is what Brother Geek carried today. And I'm really digging that little. Oh, hold on. Why does it not let me share? I'm digging the little NAF fixie. Looks like Leatherman Arc, if I'm not mistaken. Can't tell which pin that is, but sweet little NAF. I guess it's a Lander fixie. Little pry bar and a flashlight. I've got to put a flashlight back in my pocket. Thank you for reminding me. I took it out the other day and I needed it in a big way and didn't have it. And for the first time, because I've been not carrying them. It's not on my screen. Was it not? Was it not? Hold on. I thought it was sharing. It's delayed. Let me go over here and look at my live streaming. Oh, I'm behind. Is it sharing? Geek Machinist? Give me a thumbs up if y'all can see it. Because I'll be honest with you, StreamYard's been acting weird. Every time I log on, they talk about new features. I've got to click out of them. I don't know how to use the new features. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see Geek Machinist carry? Yes, Paul says. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. And I do believe it's jacking me up. So I've got out on the table, besides my American Blade Works, you see this little bitty knife beside it? This thing is small in size. I've got a video that comes out, I think, in a couple of days. But it's about the size of a mini bug out. However, unlike a mini bug out, it's got maximum, I guess, carryability designed into it. So this is a designed choil with jimping and all. So you hold it like this, or of course like this. It's got jimping up front too. It's called the Kaiser Shrike. This one's an S45 in gold camo carbon fiber, little frame lock. I showed it to some people at work today. They said it was the ugliest thing they've ever seen. I think it's actually pretty cool, and it's very, very slicey. So that's a Shrike. What excites me probably the most, or one of the things that excites me, is they brought back the T1 in a couple of different variations, and their budget variations or variety. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm a little swimmy. This one's got a D2 blade, and this one's a button lock. G10 handle. I don't know why it's autofocusing too, or maybe that's my brain autofocusing. I don't know if y'all remember the T1. It was a titanium, an original Kaiser Blade Series knife. Really nice knife. It's an Uri, U-R-I, Heinrich design. And they're making it in both a button lock and in a clutch lock, which is the bar lock that Kaiser uses. Very slicey knife. I think this one's an AEBL. They're doing it in D2, and they've got kind of a pimped out one that I don't have that uses that Norplex Ultra X micarta and I think AEBL. The ones I have are G10. But it feels great in hand. It's a medium-sized knife, a little bit larger than a bug out. Really well designed. And then a new knife that is from their internal design team. And I didn't know this until I held them up together, but I did a review on a Seagull. that looks totally different than this knife, except for the body is identical. Very, very ergonomic. Called the Phoca, Phoca, which I think is a seal. I googled it, and it told me it was a little seal. And this is in a clutch lock and AEBL. The body is the same body as the Seagull. Again, another very, very ergonomical knife. Totally different blade. But if you look at the bodies, they're a 1-to-1 match. Which is cool, because it works very, very well. So the Phoca is available in several different configurations. This is actually that Norplex Ultra X micarta. I guess that's a manufacturer of micarta, but it's super nice micarta. What's up, 1931 Leatherworks? We've got an unboxing channel member from you. Unpacking, and I'll be very careful when I do it. Double wide Mad Yako channel members in the house. I'm sure I've missed some of you guys. I apologize. But I like this little guy. And the Seagull is another one. Again, the ergonomics are the same. It's just what kind of blade do you like? A clip point or a taller multi-deployment liner lock, right? I'm either it's me tripping or I'm getting some weird autofocus. Could be either. And then they've re-released the Drop Bear, or not re-released. The Drop Bear Fix is now also wearing that Ultra X micarta. This is a kind of a caramel micarta, very unique. The Drop Bear fixed blade, and I think AEB. No, this one's 14C. Yep, 14C. And then they've got a couple of pimped ones in carbon fiber. I got one that's a sheep's foot. Uses that nice micarta. Ultra X, Norplex, or whatever. It's got holes, kind of like the NAF, which will allow you to throw a lanyard on it. And this one's an S45. But a really nice little fixed blade. Stores a toothpick and a tweezer in the ass of it. I have not. 1931 Leatherworks. I was going to do it here. I know what it is, talking to Brother Shane. And I don't have to do it on camera. If you'd rather I won't, you tell me. Yako put his, y'all go check out 1931 Leatherworks and Yako's work. I'm going to share right now. This, oh, chink, go here. I will, my friend. I've got it. Can you not see it right over here on my knife camera deal? I will definitely hide the, what I've got to do is I've got to hide your address. Flip it over. We'll work it that way. But then finally, Kaiser released another small fixed blade. And this has got a designer. He lives, I believe, in Texas, maybe Newfoundland. Fuck, I don't remember. This is the Rook. This one's D2. And it's got this G10 really nice rock handle. Really unique, kind of nest mucky blade. Really sharp. There's also one in satin blade and AEBL. I have not put these on Ulti Clips and carried them yet, but there will be a review coming on it because I think it's a really cool design. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And that is the Rook, the Kaiser Rook. And just so you guys can see, they always ship with that belt clip. It has those removable little ladder pieces depending on how wide your belt is. I take one out so it'll fit on my PP belt. Very cool little knife. And then we've got some leather to unbox, but let's look at the website real quick. If I'm actually able to share it. You got the Orlock, Lanty. Where's my menu? Carry store. For some reason, my second screen's slow. Can y'all see that? Yeah. What's his name? 1931 Leatherworks. Is it Jorgensen? I can't remember. I've got Kaiser site pulled up. We'll look at it in a second. I'm like looking at your wallets. Bunch of different wallets. Cool pocket dropper sheaths. He does a sheath for all the frets, and I've got several of those. I love the merch. I've got several frets coming in. Hopefully next week, I will be shipping them out. Now let's go back and look at Yako's store. And we'll have some bandanas, some hanks, some stickers, and some merch. Y'all do such a good job on merch. I guess because y'all know how to sell stuff or design stuff. Y'all have an eye for design. I, on the other hand, do not. That's very cool, Hank. Very cool, very cool. $34. One of a kind custom. Yako gets some really interesting fabrics, cloth materials, if you will. Sweet. And then the loot boxes, which I think are super, super cool. Where are they? Right here. Very cool. These are kind of like mystery boxes. And everybody that's gotten one has just absolutely loved it. You get more than $80 worth of swag and stuff in it. Very cool idea. Comes in like a video game type case, I think. I don't know. And you can pick how many hankies you want in your kit. Very cool stuff. All right, I'm about to open. Make sure I haven't missed anything because I'm sure I have. Being a child of the 80s was such a gift. When you say child of the 80s, I graduated high school in the mid 80s. So I did the whole, didn't have a cell phone thing till after college. I didn't have a cell phone all through college. They weren't around, thank God. I would have taken pictures and that would have been just What a nightmare. Road bikes everywhere. It was just awesome. So, this is something we're going to open. I'm going to open it with this. Whoops. Little knife. Trying to be very careful. I'm not going to flip it over yet because I know it's the fret sheath, guys. 1931 Leatherworks did. How freaking cool is that? I've got 3 more at my feet that are the black and tan pocket droppers. Look at that. Holy smokes. 1931 Leatherworks. That is freaking awesome. What is that? Alligator or ostrich? I don't even know what that is. Neil McKenzie, class 84. I was class 85. You're not even younger than me. I'm not the oldest kid in the room. 1931 Leatherworks. Thank you, brother. That is freaking beautiful. That is stunning. And I've got a fret coming from Shane. Faux croc. Dude, it looks amazing. I mean, looks amazing. We're going to have to talk to see what we would adjust the price if somebody wanted that. Because I'm making a video on these when these frets come in. That is beautiful, guys. 1931 Leatherworks has got it going on. Gets better. Kathleen Smith. Welcome, young lady. You say hi, stay as long or as short as you can. We think about you, miss you in the chats. I got a note too I got to read, but I'm not going to read it now. And it looks like I've got some really cool swag to add to some giveaways. So we will be rocking those. Everybody's giving Kathleen love. It's great seeing you, young lady. If you wonder why I keep looking over my right shoulder, I've got Puck is actually prowling. He went out today before I ran down to work, which is about 2 o'clock. And I figured he'd be hungry, but I forget the when you're hungry at that age, I don't think he's really hungry for food, if you know what I mean. YouTube terms of service. I'm sipping on a green Red Bull, which tastes just like the apple I used to sip on. But now they call it Karuba and elderflower. That's what you call marketing, people. I guarantee it's the same green recipe or whatever color it is. It tastes green. I've also got a Crescent 9 seltzer. If I get too chipper, I'll sip on that bad boy. Man, the anacondas and the pythons down south. I don't know if y'all ever watch. I just saw something in the chat, but there's some more skin in the Everglades. There's a guy that's got a YouTube channel, and all he does is goes down there and hunt shit at night. And he's trying to get, because I guess you get, I don't know if it's cash. I guess it's cash if you bring in these big dead snakes. What's up, Space Ghost? But there's some monsters down there. Florida's, if you guys live down there, I used to spend python, not an anaconda. I think there are anacondas in the Everglades probably too, though. I think the Everglades is full of everybody's discarded shit. Big lizards. I wouldn't, maybe not an anaconda, but it could definitely live there. If somebody ever let one go that was a pet because it got too big, that thing would thrive. But there's a dude who's got a YouTube channel, and that's all he does is goes down to the Everglades. And he's a professional, I don't know if you call him an entomologist, or he catches snakes. I mean, he'll identify, there are all kinds of water moccasins down there, just creepy ass shit, bugs, and he's all up in it. There you go, Space Ghost. They have caught. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised. I have also an irrational snake phobia. The only thing that I have worse than that is arachnophobia, because we have brown recluses here in Alabama, and I've never been bitten by one. I've seen shitloads of them, and I've seen people that have been bitten by them. I've seen people that were bitten by them 30 years ago, and this golf ball sized scar that they've got, like node of meat that was gone. So I'm scared of shit like that, because you don't feel the bites. That's the bad thing. If you felt the bite and you went and got it treated early, you'd be fine. But the bites, allegedly, I've not been bitten, knock on wood, but I'm going to start getting the heebie-jeebies. But they don't hurt until you start looking down and you see that your shit's rotting out. Screw that. I know snakes will do the same, but when you get bitten by a snake, you know you were bitten by the snake. Typically, right? Even if it's a baby snake, which is more deadly from what I've heard. I don't know how we got on this topic, but I'll just finish it out. Little snakes can't control their venom. So when they bite you, you're even more fucked. But you know to go to the doctor and hopefully be able to get that kind of anti-venom. By the time you realize the brown recluse has bitten you, I'm not scared of black widows, but brown recluses are some meat rotten little bastards. They scared the shit out of me. Plus, I live with them bastards. I haven't seen one in several years, but that's why they call them brown recluses, because they're sneaky. They hide in shit. And like, you got to pick up a knife box to ship something, open it up, and bam, bang, as Jared would say. But that would be the good scenario, right? So if you see it bite you, that's a win, in my opinion. It's a huge L that you got bitten in the first place. But the fact that you're able to, see it, that's a good thing. You want to be conscious of being bitten. When you roll over on it and it bites you and you don't know until you've got like a golf ball sized rot going on your back. Yikes. Yeah, they're around quite a bit. That's for sure. I think they're almost in every state. If they freak me the fuck out. But the knife that I also reviewed, a really good knife, that's probably a good candidate for the best Kaiser that I have experienced ever. I have a friend who's in the chat sometimes, and she was looking for a gift for a very special someone, and I sent her this knife. She wanted a knife, but she didn't know what kind of knife to get. And the top sale, designed by Jonathan Stiles, is available in several different flavors, several different blade steels, 2 different blade steels. And it's just a mad win of a knife. I've tried the Militol, love it. Had some great Kaiser knives. This is just an amazing, comfortable, wonderful little knife. Jonathan, that's him. That's the knife. And the video, I think, went live today. Really well done. Just a bravo. And available in either S45 or M390, depending on which one. But just, I love the belly on it. I love the grind. It's a winner. But I don't have it to show you guys because it went to a dear friend. He has great design language. Did he not, if I'm not mistaken, he designed the PAR, right, Geek Machinist? The little fixed blade for a concept and for Tenable. I think he did. And Neil, they're super creepy, but you can see those bastards. And I don't think, I could be wrong. A, you're going to know when you get bitten by them because they're big and they're creepy. That's an awesome little knife. That is an awesome little knife. I love it. But is there poison? Is it, what do you call it? Necro, and it rots your shit? Or does it just make you real sick, like fevery and like you feel like you're going to die? See, I'd rather feel like I'm going to die for a while than have my shit secretly rotted out. But Black Widow, Black Widows could be just as bad. I just know that they're big and I stay the fuck away from them. And I've always, since I've been an arachnophobe, since I was a kid, I always check my shoes. I'm not going to be that guy who sticks his foot in his shoe and gets bitten by a spider. Knock on wood, God willing, because I check. Good move. Yeah, and the bad thing about vipers, snakes, they get a bad rap because they can kill you and they can kill your pet. Some animals are much more immune to their venom, but they eat a lot of rats. Yeah, neurotoxic, affects his nervous system, not necrotic, the word that I was looking for. Again, no walk in the park. I hate to get bitten by anything. And like Neil said, I had a buddy in high school who carried an EpiPen with him because bee stings, and insect bites would raise hell for him. But yeah, they're creepy. And God bless y'all that live in Australia, because there's some creepy shit over there. Beautiful places, but some creepy crawlers. That's a fact, Jack. Absolute fact. Another knife review that's coming up. This is a wonderful, thin, slicey knife. The Marlboro Handcraft Budge. I think it's 51-200 is the steel. Paper thin. Absolute slicer. Pokey stabby. Really pretty. I'm a big fan. That is gorgeous. Geek Machinist, he is wonderful. I talked to him. I reached out to him to see what his inspiration was for this knife, because I've got one of his little pricks, which he probably had some of those on display. Awesome little knife. Hey, Bob Tism, what is up? That's true. That's true. I know you got it going on, brother. I know what you're dealing with. Sweet. Yeah, you don't want pest bugs. Speaking of pests, I was looking for Puck. I hope Puck's not adding to the cat population out there. I'm not seeing any other cats around, but he was freaking out last night. He was wanting out of the his. Scorpions suck. I've not ever been exposed to an area where scorpions were, but are they a they're a neurotoxin, aren't they? I mean, I know they can kill you. When I was in college, I had a black Asian scorpion, which aren't the kind that hang out in the desert here, because it was big ass, like that long. But the little brown ones are very venomous. This one just had like a huge stinger on his tail, and the guy at the pet store that sold it to me, I sold it back to him when I graduated Auburn, but it ate crickets, and he said it was like a really, really bad wasp sting. But I know there's some that are much, much worse that will kill you dead. But I am seeing some really cool different knives. Italian switchblades are starting to get my attention. Some of them, they're made like the old ones, and they're made some of them are made in Italy. Most of them are. Hope to bring one of those to the channel real soon. And then these little lever action, they're kind of like a traditional switchblade. They're made over in Solingen, Germany. Stuff like that I've never been exposed to. And then today, I sold a fixed blade, and I opened the box. I didn't know who it was. It was a USA sticker, a very old box. It had been brought in by a guy who had sold it. It was in 3V, super nice knives. And what is that, Satisfaction? It was, what is that company that went through all the bullshit and had to go, what is up, Edgy? And Edgy, what is that knife that I called you and I told you I sold today from that company that had taken, you couldn't get a knife from them. There were a bunch of videos made about them. They made a great knife, but the guy wasn't good at running business and left a bunch of people survive. So the knife that I sold today, when I asked and found out what it was, it's a Survive knife. Very, very nice. Super nice knife. But unfortunately, and I told the guy who bought it about the lore, and he was aware of it. I think he knew what it was when I opened it, because I'm sure it's worth a lot. And it was only, I was like $2.25 or something like that. No, it wasn't heavy set. It was Survive. And again, it was well made. It's a shame that, when you've got something like that that's so good, that you can't keep it going. But unfortunately, biting off more than you can handle and not being willing to, or not being able to know how to step back and regroup. Tip, tip. Yeah, I don't think their quality has ever come into question. I think it's always just been people were having a hard time getting their knives. Then it just got to be crazy. I know there was a video, a guy went in there and tried to buy into it, or was getting ready to try to help them because their knives were so good. Just the fulfillment. They just couldn't get it together, and maybe had just gotten too far behind. I won't get into the negativity. All I'll talk about was that was a badass knife. It was bigger than anything I would carry, and it's been there for, shame on me for not opening the box, for probably as long as I've been there. Longer, I'm sure. but no markings on the box. The inside, it did have their little like campfire logo that was also on the blade, but no other markings that would let you know that it was survive. Very cool though. Very cool. And then the case knives. Again, the old ones, I mean, there's some pretty impressive workmanship when they get 5 blades in there. I would never want a knife with 5 blades in it, but they make knives with a lot more blades in it than 5. When they get crazy. What's up, Ed? Good to see you, my man. Yeah, and this guy, that's the other thing. We get a lot of knife guys, but they're a lot of them have really cool NASA missile related jobs. Yeah, he did. And the reason I wasn't gonna slam on him, because I don't know if it's a mental deficiency. It doesn't matter, because he would basically come out and make videos that would contradict things his partner was saying were terribly wrong. And then he blamed the Magna Cut debacle. It goes way back. But this guy, again, he knew what he was getting. And it's probably one of those knives that I wouldn't have any use for it, but it was made very well. And I don't believe the guy's initial intention was to be a bad dude, but I think when you get to a place to where you won't say, hey, man, I've got major issues, I've got to regroup. You just keep kind of spinning and then go away. That's basically stealing. Rip Robin. Oh, hello. Yeah, a ton of guys. Again, it was just weird that I happened to sell one to a dude today and did not know what it was till I asked, because he was asking. Oh, that's an old survived knife. I was like, and they didn't even at the knife store know the lore, because it was brought in as part. I mean, he gets some really cool knives from estate type stuff where people bring him knives from people who've passed on, who don't need them anymore. He's the guy that people go to sell. I agree. Theft is theft. It doesn't matter if you're whatever the case may be. Scratch, what is up? Again, all I can speak to, I think we all know how shitty the situation turned out. But damn, it's a shame, because it was a beautiful knife. But there's a lot of, like you say, hurt people in that knife. People that weren't made whole. Hey, Maddie, you weren't here when I unboxed this 1931 Leatherworks. Check that out. A little fret sheath. Is that not beautiful? Loving it. Mr. Orlock himself. With his hands, bruh. Good to see you, Cat Scratch. And just shot it straight, right? I mean, it's just one of those things. If he'd have taken a step back, made a video, look, guys, I am fucked myself. I don't want my quality to suffer. I don't want to lose you guys as customers, and I've got to regroup so I can make some people whole. I'm terribly apologetic to those people who haven't gotten knives yet. And if he lost count of people, I mean, that's just, who knows, man? That just sounds like a mess. Cody, what is up, brother? Yeah, that's an odd one. Again, I never was a Hobeck knife guy. I did love the Sumo. But now that you can see KB Knives, the big brother of Kubi, has those on their site for $249. I swear to God, it's the same knife, because you can go find, if you Google that knife, you can find it. And if you look at it, look at the backspacer specifically, look at the hardware. The hardware may be slightly different, but I think Kubi was making it all along, because we know they're a good OEM, and we know he was using a Chinese OEM. So it kind of makes sense that they are making it now as a collaboration. But you can get it for $2.5. So there's that, instead of $600 or $650, whatever he was selling them for at USA Made Blades. I mean, to me, that's just, he knew that was freaking wrong and a lie. And it was at USA Made Blades, that he didn't know any different. Good for whoever uncovered that shit. But yeah, there are things like that that I would probably not be, I know I wouldn't be a supporter of their knives. No thieves, no liars. No time for that shit. And by continuing to be or cover for them, it's just covering for the shady behavior. And it's letting them know that, hey, it's okay, you did that. I am not a fan. But again, I never got the knives anyway, except that one. I know Brother Brant had one for a while, a big Hoback that was a USA made knife. But you can tell when you look at the Sumo that it's got a lot of those characteristics that if somebody like Satu, Barefoot Blaze looked at it, he would have probably been able to tell that there were things that were very not American manufacturing about it that I wouldn't be able to know. I do not know where he is. Hopefully he'll pop in. Hey, Maddie, and you can get one. I'm telling you, there's a great collaboration that's the same knife at Kubi on their website. That's a fact, Jack. And somebody had seen, I forget I've seen his videos still pop up. You're exactly right. And he still comes hard at Steve. I don't have an affiliate, but I'll get you the link right now. Hold on one second. Kubi Sumo. I'll drop it in the chat. I've got an affiliate link, but I don't promote them. They don't ever talk to me. And if I can't, I've reviewed a ton of their knives that I bought over the years. And they've got right now in stock. Let me share it real quick. Because it's the same knife, guys. If y'all were around when the Sumo was so big, sold out. Hold on. Hold on, Maddie. All right, Blade HQ's got it. Hold on a second. Copy. I'll show you guys how well, you're not looking. There you are. Let me drop this in the chat. Oh, there it is. $216. And that is a clean link. That's not even my affiliate link. Let's see if they've got the That one looks like it's in stock. Looks like they're all in stock. This was the one that was so popular. Yep. It's a beautiful knife. 20 CV. It's got a floating backspacer that they're not showing here. Super cool, low profile flipper. And then studs and the deployment. It's a sexy little knife. And it's at Blade HQ. I wish there was somewhere else, but. What's up, Jesse? Yeah, I've got a little areas, and I don't carry it much because it's kind of small-ish. I do need, however, to take it apart because you got to give it a little start, which I used to not have to do that. I think it's got some gunk in it. I mean, it's plenty big. The clip just seems kind of dainty in my jeans. Yeah, Tila Chito. What's up, brother? But the little ones, I wish it was flipperless, and I wish the pocket clip was a little more stout. Besides that, it's a beautiful knife, and I wish it would drop like it used to because I don't want to take it apart. I've got it on skiffs, but it's supposed to drop from there, and it doesn't want to. Ouchie! What is up? Oh, you want the Summit? I'm sorry, brother. I know exactly what the Summit is. And they have not done that one yet. I don't think. Let's see if Kubi's done the Summit. Summit. Am I still sharing? Nope. Good, because I'm searching through a bunch of whacked out shit. There is the Homeback with 625. It's in stock. It's in stock, Maddie. And the pivot is different on the Hobecks than on the Kubis. So that's where your extra. But that's the big guy. Let's see if they're all in stock. There's in black, titanium in purple, and titanium in blue. $625. And I guarantee you that was made by the same Kubi. I could be wrong. It just doesn't look like a USA made knife. What's he say the country of origin is? Hold on. China. Nothing wrong with that, but there is something wrong with that. Because when these both came out, the Sumo was within $25. It's $216. So that's about, that knife should probably be $316. I thought they might have some of the old ones in there. But Maddie, let me know if you're going to buy one of those. I will send you my affiliate link. That'd be a lick. Cha-ching! It's a beautiful knife. And it was designed, and he probably made one or two and realized it was just not going to be. And it's a big boy. It's 9.75 inches, 4¼ inch blade. It's right up Maddie's. That's a Maddie knife if I've ever seen one. I don't know what that part. What does that say? P23. I don't know what that means. I refer to it as the lie knife. Ruh-roh, who am we talking about? Let me scroll up. Edgy's spitting facts. Come on, jump up here. Oh, no, it's Edgy would be up here joining me, but he is celebrating with a loved one. Never delivered a knife. Scab just called him out. I don't watch anybody's content. I'm so bad about that. When you talk to yourself about knives every day and make content, it's kind of hard to watch it. And I hate that. Part of it's also I don't want to get other people's opinions of stuff that I might talk about. I want to just talk about how it makes me feel. Well, I'm a huge fan of Kubi. I don't think Kubi did anything really wrong except make the knife, and they weren't doing anything. You know, Jake's the one that perpetuated the shady bullshit. All right, I'm missing something. Oh, yeah, that guy. Maddie. Hey, Edgy doesn't have to do that. He's celebrating with a loved one, family member. And I think Ryan's working. I don't know what's. I hope Kyle is okay, but he knows he's welcome anytime, and is never required. This Friday night is though. We're going to have a great guest. I've got to I've got to set up the live so I can send a link to Greg Datcher, who is a knife maker from my hometown. And he's not just a knife maker, he's an artist. The dude makes beautiful knives. And he forges them. I think he forges them. I'll let him tell his story. See if I can find him. Hold on. Go to Instagram real quick. Y'all keep yourselves busy for just a second. Here, Greg Datcher. Find this. Boom. Datcher Designs. There we go. Hey, Naked Fat Man entered the studio. I love it. For Maddie.
This is like old days, ain't it?
This is like the old days, buddy. YouTube turn service.
I don't think I ever actually went live from the tub before. I just sent pictures.
Hey, it's awesome though, dude. And look at Maddie. Maddie's just so fired up.
I can't see the chat now, but I'm not planning on hanging out long. But yeah, we did our dinner thing, and I was really excited. My ankle was doing way better, and I guess I just I pushed it a little too much today. I was damn near in tears half hour ago.
Does soaking it help it?
It's a little more comfortable. I mean, it doesn't make it go away, but yeah, it's been a rough day.
Oh, Maddie, give some love for the tub. I'll send it to Shane.
Nothing.
Did you see this, Shane? Had you seen this already?
I saw pictures before you got it. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, that is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah, I like when Terry gets a chance to show out like that.
It's beautiful, dude. What up?
Yeah.
Who did Scabs call out? Is it that guy that made the videos about Steve's knife?
Yeah, he was tactical when Steve Polari had his issues. And give me 90 seconds to go back to that. Steve fucked up. As a businessman, and even as a knife maker, he made some mistakes. He messed up. And, and then he messed up even further by not communicating. And Whitty since has admitted that he made mistakes, that he should have communicated more. But the end of that story was Steve paid Whitty back within a week of Whitty's video post. But Heavy Set Tactical jumped on that bandwagon and was bashing Steve, and now has collected a bunch of money from customers and no knives have been delivered. And he's saying he's got to take care of his mental health and blah, blah. And Scab just posted a video a couple of days ago calling him out, telling him before he even checked himself into rehab that he needed to fucking mow yards, whatever he had to do to pay those people back.
Was that his video about addiction isn't an excuse? Don't use addiction as an excuse?
Yes.
Was that his thumbnail? Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, yeah, since you can't see the chat, I'm gonna read what Stevie said. Scuba Steve, blah 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 blah. Nobody gives a fuck. Like only Stevie can say, "I love you, Stevie." That's beautiful.
Yeah, and he's right. I mean, you know, Steve's. I hate to use the word polarizing. He's just he's hard to like. He's hard to like for some people.
Stevie
but
said
the difference is Steve paid me back in full. And so far, nobody's got anything from Heavyset, and Heavyset was one of the main ones throwing shade. Yeah.
And like you said,
he only did that to get on Woody's radar, to try to get his knives in the store. Ain't no doubt about that. But.
What's up, Kyle?
How we doing? What's up, Bathtub Shane?
What's up, man? I wish Easy E was here. Or what's that his name? Who was it used to always post the emojis of me in the bathtub?
Evil E?
Evil E, yeah.
Evil E.
Yeah, y'all tag Evil E in this so he can
I'm like,
he
I
can
don't
enjoy
think
it.
what Easy had.
Yeah, it wasn't Easy E, my bad. I'm blind, man. All I can see are the comments that John's highlighting. And because I'm in this upright mode, I can't read them at all. My vision's gotten so poor.
Oh, mine's terrible, dude. So you're not missing. Yeah. I'm telling you, mom, my bed tonight. Oh God, y'all are hilarious. Yeah. Steve, tell her I said hi. And I'll say,
but I will say, in Steve's defense, I've had people wait longer for a knife from me than Woody waited from Steve. The difference was.
Hang on a second.
I communicate, and Steve is a shitty communicator. I've told him that to his face. You know, he had knives of mine for heat treat that he kept for months and months and months, and I had people waiting for months and months and months. So, you know, that's something he either needs to get better at, or limit his business to just people who will put up with it.
Back up a second. Are we going to skip over the fact that Shane's got a bathtub spitter?
Yeah, it's a Guthrie's cup.
Guthrie's, dude, the best sauce in the game.
Is that just keeping it for the bathroom, or is that a?
Well, you're with me, Kyle. I don't have like a designated bathtub. I haven't soaked in the tub in probably 2 years. I used to do it for my neuropathy and it quit working. And I was laying in there earlier, it hurt me so bad, I was desperate. But, if you told me eating dog shit would make it go away, I'd have tried it.
And that's just from
why didn't I think about telling you that?
Huh?
So why didn't I think to tell you that?
I don't know. I wouldn't have believed you, but if you could convince me, I'd try it. It's pretty weird. The past 2 days have been really good. And again, tonight, I can't see my ankle bone. I can't see any of the tendons on top of my foot. It's all swollen and all the way up my calf, almost all the way to my knee. It feels like the skin is just going to explode.
Damn, dude.
Like it's that. Yeah.
Yeah, soak it and relax. You don't have any Epsom salt there, do you?
Unfortunately, I don't.
I don't know how well that stuff works, but I used to put it in.
It's starting to ease up a little bit now. So typically, once it eases up, I'll stay off of it. It'll get better. So this is my second one. You didn't think I was going to not dip just because I was in the tub, did you?
Well, I just thought maybe you could take like 10 minutes worth of time to not do it.
It just got weird.
I always stop dipping to sleep and have sex.
Well, at least
if I could find one that was okay with that, I'd be good with it. So just give me a break. Let me take a spit break every few minutes. I brought my boot too.
Shane's using the 4-year-old half-empty VO5 conditioner bottle as a spitter.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, did you hear my story earlier about I learned today that case knives, up until just when they started using S35, had been stamped out? Did you know their blades were stamped?
No.
Well, that's not everybody's used 1095, while a lot of people still use it because you can stamp it.
Rob's
That's
dirty
what we've been
mind.
trying to do, is that the choices in steel have always been, it's always been a monetary choice. It's always been to make the knife as cheaply as possible.
Javon,
What?
to be honest with you, I didn't know because I really don't buy them or care.
It's slightly better. It's like the best steel you can use and still stamp it out. It might be 154 CM. I can't remember. But yeah, all those people using that steel are using it because they can make a knife for $4 or $5 and sell it for 40 or 50.
Well, the one thing I've noticed about Case, again, I'm not a slip joint guy, but I don't think they put their focus on the blade as much as they do on the handles.
They don't even sharpen them. Have you ever opened a case that would cut paper?
They've got 3 knives, and I wish I knew the name of the small one they just put out, but they've got a side buster and another one, an S35, that are sharpened.
That
They're
goes for,
sharp.
that goes for GEC though too, Shane.
Yeah,
They come dull as shit.
In Case's defense, I had to send my GEC bullbuster to Kyle because that thing was literally a butter knife.
They don't come sharp, dude.
No.
Again,
They
slip
didn't
joint,
do it, Kyle.
What's that?
I don't remember having that trouble.
No, I've never had a GEC come in that was ever. I've had quite a few come in that are brand new and they don't have an edge on them. You can literally push your finger on them.
Right. Yeah, that's how Snus learned that.
Razor sharp ones that came in.
Now, my GEC now is a freaking razor blade, but I know if I cut 10 feet of cardboard with it, it'll be dull, so I don't use it.
I don't know the numbers, but they're
Not stock Cheeto. That's what you tune them up.
Who gave me that GEC, Kyle? I need to have them engraved so I can remember who was it?
5-door.
5-door. That's right. And who gave me the Carahawk?
Snot rag.
Not right. Yeah.
Stotrog.
Why am I?
Well, what's bad is I've got that group now. Now I've got 3 names in it that I don't confuse who they are. I just confuse like the backstory. Like for some reason, well, 5-door can tell you right now, talking about irresponsible makers and being able to bash people. I sold 5-door knife and shipped it to you with no sheath. After Kyle asked me if it needed a sheath, and I told him no, it didn't come with a sheath. And then when he got it and didn't have a sheath and wanted a sheath, I was like, well, let me get another one made. I'll send it to Terry so Terry can use it as a pattern to make a sheath and send the sheath to you. Because that's how my stupid brain thinks. And 5-door's like, why don't I just mail it to Terry? So he did. And Terry, being the consummate professional, kind of like Kyle that he is, I think Terry made it the same day or the next day. Like I screwed it all up and then tried inadvertently to make fixing the situation take weeks. Whereas 5-door himself and Terry fixed the situation in a matter of a few days.
But your confusion came from a good place because you were owning the mistake, and that's why you wanted it back in your hand.
Snot Rag's the one that told me he didn't want or need a sheath. He said, no, man, I'm dropping this right in my bag, my lineman bag, to like cut the insulation on high voltage wire. And I confused that. I confused Shady, Snot Rag, and 5-door. I don't confuse who they are. I just confuse their what I'm doing for them. Yeah, I do it every time. Kyle has cussed me and had to remind me which situation belongs to who at least 3 dozen times.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
So imagine if I didn't have Kyle and I was still trying to keep up with all this on my own. I would have people talking about me on the internet. I know I would. So that's why I have a low empathy for those folks.
The difference is, Shane, you're out there and you're talking about when you're slow, when you're not getting stuff done, there is a difference. And it's humility. It's just basic humility and decency.
Well, it still sucks. It sucks for them. Well, another difference too is I rarely let people pay me up front, and the ones that do pay me up front typically pay me way further into the process. You know, that's the difference here is that Heavyset Tactical allow people to pay for knives that he's never even started making. You know, Steve allowed, I want to talk about something you've never heard. Steve allowed Whitty to pay him for a batch of knives and then make them. And when he screwed them up, it took him forever to redo it because he had to make knives to sell to other people to feed his child. That's not a good business plan, but that's the way it happened. Only a handful of y'all know this, but Whitty literally told me, whenever I'm ready and whatever I need, he was ready to cut me a check to put thugs in USA Made Blade. And I told him, absolutely not. When I had 10 knives, I could send him inspect them, be okay with it, and approve payment, then we would do business, but not, I was not taking a penny from that man.
But that's a great compliment in your work when he saw it at Blade Show.
It made me feel really good. And even if I never have a knife on his shelf, I'll always have pride, you know, that he reached out to me about it. But yeah, especially a whole batch. When you're talking about a couple $1,000, no, sir, I ain't taking that money and then letting him wait. Because just like now, you know, Northern Knives, luckily, they've been really patient and understanding. But had they paid me when he put that order in, they would probably be upset already too. Because I'm close to done, but I'm not. You know, they're still sitting there. So
now, I don't know the whole story, but I don't think you're alone. I think Spyderco, Benchmade, Microtech are kind of the same way. That I don't know how payment happens. I know when orders get placed and there's no communication, knives just show up months, sometimes a lot of months later, right?
But we're spoiled though, John. We don't understand how goods and stuff work everywhere. Actually, like if you put knives on the shelf at Walmart, you know, let's say Walmart wanted to carry my knives, which they never will. Let's say they did. You know, that's a 6-month turnaround. From the time they receive them, they don't pay you for 6 months.
Oh yeah, the receivables are
because they collect the money, invest it or whatever, and their hopes are to be able to pay what they owe you off the money they've made off of that revenue. So they don't have anything.
But their
receivables, they don't have any cost in it.
Shane,
No,
they get terms though. So here's how a lot of that retail works. So you're going to buy on terms. So if I come in to you and I say I'm a big company and I want to order, you know,
right,
$10,000 worth of items. One, I'm already going to have a full credit report and history already drawn up, and you're going to check it with bank verification and everything. So like that way you're protected as a company. You're not getting screwed. But they're going to give you terms. So it may be like 3 net 90, which means if you pay it in the first 30 days, you get 3% off. Otherwise, you have up to 90 days to pay it in full.
Right.
So depends on the company how they work. A lot of times they'll take advantage of those benefits. They may space out, like a company that gets 3 net 90 may hold off and do the net 90, but a company who does like 6 net 60, they may pay it up front to get the 6% off. So they're looking at the financial scene, which is the best way to use their money. So it depends.
Well, a friend of mine actually had a product that ended up in Walmart.
Yeah, I think Walmart has kind of a
his contract was 180 days. He didn't get paid for 6 months.
Yeah, but he also probably at that point was probably getting a set that his MOQ is probably high enough to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. And you know, I'm sure it had to do with the fact that he didn't have any bargaining power either, because he was new. But yeah. You know, we don't, most of us don't understand or know all that. So some of this seems kind of foreign to us when we hear the shit hit the fan. But
Bob, that was part of what I did, buddy.
Yeah, I know. But I have no intentions of ever accepting a big fat check up front and
Kyle,
and
for
then
some
just
reason,
making.
you're real quiet to me.
Who is?
Kyle, does he seem quiet to you?
It sounds good to me.
Okay, that could just be me.
My volume's all the way up.
No,
so-
no worries. No worries. You probably sound fine. It's probably just me, dude.
Yep, Bob, you're correct, buddy. That's part of what I was doing. I've had, well, I won't get into all of it, but yeah. So I spent a lot of time doing purchase orders and cost of goods and all that stuff. So
You guys want to look into, and it's not even really shady business, but if you have you guys watched Fat Electrician's breakdown of the fact that Starbucks is a banking company, not a coffee company?
Because of their gift cards?
Yeah, they make like, what was it, $180 million a year off of the interest and investment capital off of people who buy the Starbucks gift cards. That's not counting the people who buy them, gift them, and they never get used. That's just because you gave them that money up front and they invested it or put it in the bank and drew interest on it. They're making $180 million a year off of. They're not a coffee company. They're a gift card company.
Well, that sounds more like a government contract, but yeah, I've dealt with that as well too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. You start talking about waiting on the government to pay you. That could be a too.
I do have,
That will stay you out.
Shane, I got some, or Javon, I got some nerdy nerdy YouTube talk to talk about tonight. I won't bother Shane with it, but you'll get a kick out of it.
Bring it up, dude.
Well, I'm not going to bother Shane's here.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be here much longer anyway, dude. My water's gonna get cold. I'll have to get out.
Don't give it. Don't give.
They might be waiting for that.
I just finished this up tonight.
Ooh, look at that edge, dude. Which version is that? Is that the most recent version?
Yeah, the 1.1.
How do you like it?
It's nice. I like it. I mean, well, there it tells you. Cut myself twice on tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cat Scratch. There was a video that Scabs did that they were talking about earlier about Heavyset Tactical.
You know the funny thing about that whole scenario? Wasn't that Jacob guy involved in that too? Like as far as bashing?
Jacob, listen, I was watching Jacob before I got into the knife community. Because Jacob started out doing kind of prepper outdoor survival. And that dude has always been a drama chasing clickbait.
Yeah, he's a tool.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. You know, and that was just my opinion on anybody that spoke on the situation that didn't even really know what was going on. Because I can't even say that I know everything that went on. That's why I didn't speak on it. I just said what I had to say and let it be. But,
not at all, my brother. I have not watched it yet, but Shane was telling me about it. But let me pull it up real quick.
Rob, no, this isn't mine. This is a customer's that sent in for a resharpening.
That is beautiful.
I'm going to verify that this thumbnail is the one I think it is. Let me share the screen, Shane.
To get in the light, but there we go. It's a little bit better.
I told you about my first knife from Jason Grant, didn't I?
Tell me what?
I told you I just acquired my first knife from Jason Grant, didn't I?
No.
Yeah, I got that neon green Karambit.
Oh, with the sharpened beak and the sharpened. Oh, dude, I saw that today.
Jason's not going to talk about it, but a guy reached out and told him he wanted the knife, and then told him that he couldn't pay for it till payday. And of course, Jason was like, "Man, that's no big deal. I'll hang on to it for you." Payday rolls around, so Jason's sat on it for over a week. Lost potential sales because he pulled it off the for sale thing. Then gets paid, and then messages him and asks him if he'll take $50 less. And I told Jason, I said, "Dude, I would saw that fucking knife into pieces before I let him buy it." And my point of the story is, guys, if you feel like it's too expensive or it's more than you want to pay for it, then just walk away from it to begin with. asking the man that made it and knows the time and effort it took to do it to take less money is a bitch ass move, man. Don't ever do that.
That does seem like a personal slap. It's almost like,
Javon, can you make me big for just 1 second?
yep. Let me get back over there, buddy. I'm trying to get. I can't get YouTube to scroll because I wanted to share Choirboy Cutlery. Let me make you big. Here we go. Boom. Holy smokes, dude! That looks like it would cut.
Cause is that the one that's on washers instead of bearings?
Yeah.
I'm very interested in that because I honestly didn't want that knife because it was so guillotine. I thought it was unsafe. Yeah, that's much better.
So that's on Skiff thick washers, or they put them on that from the factory?
No, that looks like skiffs to me.
So Kyle, what was your progression? What's the degrees that you sharpened that at?
This was 19 degrees. I'm done. 19 degrees. I went 220 on my vitrified, 240 on the alpha, 600, and then 1500, and then went to 4 and then 1 micron.
And it's M390, right?
M398, the new ones.
How did it feel?
It felt okay. I mean, it not phenomenal, but it was decent.
Hey Shane,
There you go, Luke. I got boo
I
boo.
started to buy a piece of M398 just enough to do one knife and really show out with it. But it's kind of like D2 at this point. I don't think anybody would care enough to pay for it because it's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Like a piece of steel for one knife is more than most of you are used to paying for a knife. So I didn't do it, but I'd love to have a really well heat treated M398.
M398
But here's the thing.
about as expensive as A390.
Yeah, by the time you heat treat M398, to really get the performance out of it, it's going to be as brittle as K390, possibly even 15V. So again, why? Why does it even exist?
Shane,
You know,
this is
I
the
mean,
video, isn't it?
It just says
right.
something. Yeah, that's it.
Cut the shit. Okay, I'm gonna share it in the chat.
Yeah, Rob, I'm glad you got it. That's the best stuff out there. That's the 4. And
That's it. I just threw it in there,
1.
cat scratch. That's the one that it was a couple of days ago.
And I tell y'all right now, if Scab, regardless of if you're a fan of Scab or not, but for him to make that video, he's fucking mad.
No doubt. Scab is.
He has exhausted every other. Yeah. No, I take that back. He mentions he's not called the guy because, like you said, it's not his responsibility to. But he promoted this guy, heavily promoted the guy. And now Scab's buddies, viewers, fans, whatever, they're being ripped off. So
You're welcome, brother.
Ain't no Rosecraft.
Kyle, you see what Rob's Nerdy Now is throwing up there?
Yeah. Rob, I would almost go, if you hone really well when you're done sharpening, skip the 6 and go straight to the 0.5. You'll get better results.
Why's that, Kyle? Just because you're cleaning it up with a hone?
Yeah, when you're honing it with your last stone, you're actually minimizing the burr and lining that edge up to the point where if you take a 6 micron to it, you have a better chance of ripping the teeth off and getting the toothiness off of there. If you want to keep it sticky, then skip that, hone it with a finer grit, only a couple passes, and then go to your 0.5.
Baptism. Is my dude sitting in an empty tub? Where are all the splashes? I'm waiting for his lips to turn blue.
Did y'all hear it?
I heard you.
Yeah, this water is getting cold, so we need to get out before it starts, work counteracting.
Feel free to jump back in. And when you get out, elevate your leg, dude. Like lay down and feet up?
Honestly, the only thing that works is laying down. I know this sounds crazy, but sitting, like if I sit in a chair, that's the most painful thing I can do. It actually hurts less to just get back up and walk on it. There's something about when I put pressure on the back of my quad or on my hamstring, it's just excruciating. And that's what happened. We were eating dinner. I was sitting there in a wooden chair, and my daughter, I feel bad. I feel like it ruined her birthday dinner. She kept asking me if I was okay. I couldn't sit still. I was in so much pain. But yeah, that's all I can. I took my steroid, everything I was supposed to. It's starting to feel better now, so I'll go lay down. I'll probably feel fine when I wake up tomorrow.
Well,
So,
I would just put a pillow under it, even when you're laying down.
yeah.
Just so the blood doesn't settle on it.
Well, what's weird, what I found that feels the best is if I put my legs in like a figure four and I put that swollen ankle under the back of my other leg, like, making a number four with my legs. That's the most comfortable position I can be in. And I can literally feel the heat coming out of my ankle into my other leg. It gets so hot. I want to jump off here. I love y'all.
Love you, brother.
See ya.
See ya.
Hey, Ed, I haven't watched the video, but that's what Scab's video title was. Addiction's not an excuse. And I think that's kind of, again, I haven't watched it, but I think that's what he's talking about. Because, that's one of Scab's three big, hold on. Rob's got a serious question.
I'll answer that, and I've got a follow-up to his other question before, so go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay. So, Rob, your earlier question, this one, unless you're going for a true polish, going to the 6 before you go to the 0.5 actually dulls it, surprisingly enough. There are tests out there that have proven that if you go from a nicely honed edge that is completely lined up properly and you go to a higher grit or higher micron strop, it will actually dull it versus just going straight to the 0.5. So I would suggest spending more time with a higher grit stone, honing it, and then go to the lower grit. Unless you're going for a true polish, then you need to go through all the grits to get to a mirror. Otherwise, you don't need to worry about that. And then this one. So it depends on how much you use it. So there's no time frame. I'll show you on one how the progressions look. So like this one is a piece of oak.
I'm gonna make you big.
Okay. This one is a piece of oak that had reasonably fresh applied. It has maybe 6 or 7 knives been done on it. And you can start to see the little black lines in there. That is the burr popping off, and that is contamination from the knife getting into the strop and into the compound.
Wow, my strop's much dirtier than that.
This one is 3 micron. It's been used a while, but it was also used to polish, and it was applied heavily, so that's why it is very, very dirty. So this one, I would need to take, what I would do, honestly, this one's beat all hell, but I would take a magic eraser, clean all this shit off of here, and then reapply and load it back up. Now this
like
one,
Mr. Clean magic eraser, like you get the grocery store.
I'll show you that in a second. Now this one, unless it starts getting black like the other one, if it just starts getting duller, less green, and more a little bit darker, then I would just add more to it. And eraser wise, what I would use would be just an old-fashioned pencil eraser, like the rubber erasers. Let me, oop, I don't want to do that. On here.
Oh, wow.
And that'll come right off.
Before you reapply. So that's what you're doing.
I'll get all that contamination off there, clean it up, and then reapply. Only because it was so dirty. If it was just like the other one where it just had a little bit of contamination, then I wouldn't worry about it. I'd just put more on there. So that's all I would do with that would be, and then go back and then add more to it. So hopefully that answers your question as far as when to do it and when not to do it. But you don't need to do it based on time frame. It's more based on when the actual strop needs it, based on how
Can
much.
you feel it in the strop, Kyle? I would assume the strop would feel slicker at some point.
Yes and no. Depends on how much is getting loaded into it.
Rob's got a couple of, and Bob Tism's got questions for you too.
Okay, let's see. Bob, I think a factory angle is usually okay. It depends on what you're using the knife for, Bob, and what the factory angle is, because there's a big difference. So, like, a Spyderco factory angle of being around 17 is a lot different than a knife coming at 28 to 30. So it depends on what the use case of the knife is and what the factory angle is. Yeah, I mean, it's easy just to strop a factory angle back. There's no problem to that. But if you're going to be wanting serious cutting power, then you might want to lower it. So that is not necessarily justified by just saying, okay, the factory angle is good. I like to keep them within a reason, plus or minus a couple. So, like, if it comes in at, say, 22, I can take it down to 19. I don't have a problem with it. But I don't want to take something that comes in at 22 and take it down to 17. I think that's a waste of material. I think, God damn it, Shane. But I think if you're within a couple degrees, you're fine. But otherwise, you're taking off too much material just for the sake of being slicey, and you don't necessarily need that for cutting performance. You can still get a knife razor sharp even at 20 degrees. So a Hinder, a hard use knife like that, I would keep around 20 personally, 20 to 22. And it depends on the thickness of the knife. That makes a huge difference. So, like, if a knife is super thin, I'm not going to take it down low, even if I want it to be slicey, because there's nothing behind the edge to hold it. So it's going to be very, very brittle, like a slip joint or something like that, or something with a super, super deep hollow grind. There's no point in taking it super low because you're going to make it more fragile. But the thicker it is and the more you lower it, the bigger you're going to get of a bevel. So that makes a difference too. So if you have a thick behind the edge knife and you lower your angle, you're going to get a massive bevel in there and it's going to look wonky.
And you're going to weaken that blade considerably.
Well, not so much on a thick knife like that. You're not too bad, but you're wasting material by laying it back. The only way you're going to get that out too is at that point you have to have it reground. So I've seen that many times on Hinder. If people want more cutting performance and they'll drop them down to 17 degrees and it looks stupid as all get out because the bevel's 1/8 inch thick, and then they go and get a reground. So knowing what you want out of it is the first step, and then figuring out from there. If you had a direct question about a certain knife, I can give you more information, but that was a generalized answer. Hopefully that helped. Let me go back to Rob.
Yeah, Rob's got some more good questions.
Okay, so this one.
I'm sorry, Kyle.
No, that's okay. So what I would do, honestly, Rob, if your knife starts getting dull or getting to a point where it's not sharp like you like it, I would still go back to the strop that you finalize on, whether that be the 0.5. At that point, if it does not come back, go to a stone and hone it. You don't have to sharpen it, just hone it. And then you go to the strop and get that last little bit off. And then you're good to go. You don't have to go back and resharpen it completely. What that does is that realigns the edge when you're honing it. And you don't have to worry about creating a burr or any of that thing. You're just realigning the edge, using the strop to get that last little tiny bit off of there, and you're keeping the teeth on there. And you're not having, if you take a knife that's starting to dull like and you came off a 0.5 and you take it to a 6, you are going to dull it. It may feel sharper, but it's not going to be as sharp as it was when you first had it. So there's no way to get that back to the same sharpness level unless you go back to what you were doing before. And then the second part, some people just add on, but I think that's silly because your substrate is contaminated at that point, and you don't have any. It takes 3 minutes to clean off a strop and get to fresh leather or fresh wood or whatever you're using for your strop, for your substrate. And
Did I hear?
Go ahead.
No, I'm trying to think when I first started cleaning strops. Did somebody ever say mineral oil?
That is used a lot of times for if you're using like the old type of compound, and you put that on the strop first. That way, it helps spread out the compound.
The wax.
Yeah,
I got you. My bad.
Okay, there was another one. Bob, it's not that bad. So they use thinner blade stock to start with, so they can get thin behind the edge but not moving a ton of material like some other hollows do. So you're fine on that. I mean, you can do those at anywhere 18 to 21, 18 to 20, and you're fine. But I wouldn't go super low on them. I wouldn't start dipping into 17, 16 range with those just because you don't need it. Because based on the geometry of the knife.
What's up, Robin?
But it also depends upon, like I said, first account for what you want the knife to be used for, and then factor in the rest. Yeah, Todd, you can. All right, the next one was this one. Well, I mean, I'm just going off of science based. I mean, whatever works for you is fine. But if you're looking for optimum performance, when you get to the point where when you get to the point where your knife's starting to dull,
make you big.
That's fine. Literally, just take it, put it on the stone, and hone it backwards 4 to 5 times per side. And then 1 or 2 per side. Then take it to a strop, and you're done. But you're taking it back to that 0.5. You're not taking it all the way down to the 6. And you're going to see much better results than you would if you just went straight to the 6.
There's some more facts being thrown up there.
What's that?
Just about TRM, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, they start with thin blade stock so they can keep the geometry that they have without doing anything crazy. But Todd's right here, so that's another one too. If you get to the point where your eraser is not working, you could do a light sand, like that one I showed that was all beat to hell. If I wanted to get past some of that little cut leather on the ends, I would just sand it down and get past that and then go again. But
just use a pretty light grit, or would you use a coarser grit sandpaper?
Start light, and then whatever takes it off. And if it's not, then you can go coarser. But it's easier to take less, and then before you can take more. So, let's see. High performance would be an all day sharpening and supplemented very true. Well, and that's part of it too, Rob, is I know as many knives as you have, you're not using all of them. So like when you put them back like in batches, if you carry the same one for 4 or 5 days, put it in a pile, and then when you get a couple hours, just sit down and literally all you have to do is spend 3 to 5 minutes on each knife, hone it, strop it, and then put it back in your rotation, and you're good to go. But do that before it gets out of hand, and you won't have to go to a complete resharpen. So
Shane makes a good point. And I wouldn't have agreed with that unless I experienced it. Now, this is a machine ground, but it is super thin behind the edge.
Yeah, that is 100% accurate. They definitely grind thinner.
Yeah, I would think cheese would be a little. It needs more of a cardboard Taco Bell stalker type knife.
All right.
Todd Carr's throwing some facts out there of what he uses sandpaper wise.
That sounds reasonable. Hopefully that answered your guys' questions, Bob or Rob. If either one of you had more questions on that, let me know, and I'll try to answer the best I can. But
hey, Paul Mill sent you a message on Instagram, Kyle. I don't know if you can pull it up.
Let me. Okay, I'll give me a second. I'll take a look at it.
Edgy makes a good point about the cheese. Go to Amazon. They've got all kinds of weird, wacky cheese knives. Most of them are wires. They look like a, what do you call that? Not a hack, I guess a hacksaw.
Yeah, cheese is not the best for just a plain knife, anyways.
Bob Tisden, what you'll learn about Kyle is he loves to share knowledge, what he's learned. So thanks for sharing good questions.
There's no putting up with anything, Bob. I like talking about this. I like nerding out about it. So if you got questions, shoot away, and I'll answer everything that I can.
Yeah, that's kind of, my streams are really like that. I mean, they're just for interaction with you guys. And Kyle is such a wealth of knowledge. Shane is too when he's here. Buy a guitar string for cheese and be done. A 9 or a 10 gauge would probably be the best. You don't want a wrapped one, I wouldn't think. Cicero, new channel member. What's up, brother? Cicero won something that shipped out to him Monday on Saturday. Congratulations, Cicero. Good to see you, brother. It was just head. It was head nudity, buddy. You were very, very, very calm in the tub. You were very well behaved. I didn't even get nervous. Now, I'll probably see that I'll get the little yellow thing that says it's not going to be shown to people, but that's fine. Hey, I learned something else today, guys.
I don't think they showed anything.
Meta has not only limited my personal account, and when I look at the terms of service, because I did an appeal and it came back and all of them were denied, but it says it violates, they say, weapons and fantasy weapons. Well, today, Business Knives and More, their Facebook page, they got a notification email saying that it couldn't be shown outside of the people that follow them. So if you see knife makers, if you're on Instagram or if you're on Facebook and you see a knife maker's post and you support that knife maker, it's always good to share it because it does help their reach. And I hate to think of what that does to, you know, the small makers that use social media to try to expand their reach. But it sucks. And for the longest time, if you had an Instagram professional account, you'd get those type of flags. And if you switch back to personal, which I would always switch back to personal, you wouldn't get that limit. But I haven't grown on Instagram in over 4 years anyway. So there's that.
I don't either, but I don't post. So
I post almost every day.
I need to do more often. I get caught up in my own stuff and I hate social media. That's why
I do too. And the only reason
I take breaks a lot. So,
and that's a very, very good thing. I mean, I think social media is tough. And I wish where I'm guilty is I'm not in my comment section like I should be. And that's social anxiety. That's not because I'm worried about negative comments or I'm worried about anything like that. It's just that to me, it's so overwhelming to get in there because I've got so many that I have to go back and I suck at that.
I kind of gave you a little bit of help on that as far as like literally 24 hours, you get a reply. After 24 hours, don't expect a reply.
I know, but my brain, I'm such a procrastinator, dude. I've got to come up with a system, something that prompts me to do it like every morning. Like if I would set aside an hour or every night and do it, I just need to. I need to do that. I mean, there's no excuse for not doing that. So, but that's been probably my biggest, probably shortcoming. But it's not because, yes, I'm procrastinate kind of guy. I've got to just remember I've got to complete a traffic school by like the 9th. What's the date? 4th. No, I'll do it tomorrow. Thanks for reminding me of that.
So speaking of
Prick get shipped. Satisfaction is definitely gonna hold my feet to that. It's gonna get shipped, brother. I'm gonna send you the little prick. The little prick.
he's used to that.
Geek Machinist. I've got a very off the chain recording of adult ADHD. I've had it allegedly all my life. Crispy Critter, what's up?
What's up,
But
Chris?
I'm
So the
why is it not letting me click on people?
I don't know. You just clicked on
What's up,
Crispy?
Matt Maurer? Yeah, but it's
What's
giving
up,
me a
Matt?
delayed click thing.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to you about some YouTube information that I found out yesterday. So I know you like getting into analytics and nerding out about this
What would
stuff.
you learn?
So there's a niche market inside of the YouTube space that has the highest click or highest CPM rate, higher than Finance Bros, higher than anyone else. Guess what their CPMs are?
What?
80 to 100.
Per thousand?
Yep.
Their CPM.
Yep. Their CPM is 80 to 100 per thousand. You know
What's
why?
the niche? Why?
It's because they have big followings now. All of their videos are like 40 minutes to an hour and a half, and they get tens, if not hundreds of thousands of views a day. The amount of money these guys are making is insane.
It stands for cost per mil, and a mil is 1,000. So in digital marketing, Rob, if you were going to buy like online video ads or in YouTube, it's what an advertiser's paying. Everybody's got a different CPM. And
Right.
it's basically what they value 1,000 of your videos for.
Right. Well, these guys are getting so many views, and they're so highly sought after for advertising that's why they're making that kind of bank, is because they're just pushing each other. Everyone wants to get in there and advertise with them.
And that's because it works, right? I mean, that's the bottom line, is they're able to see that it works.
So it's the entertainment side of the YouTube golf. So like with the one channel, one of the kind of OG big channels, it's been around for a while. They have almost 2 million subs. They get, you look at their, if you go to like Social Blade and look at them, their daily views are over 400,000.
Holy shit. That's
Yep.
eyeballs that an advertiser puts a lot of value on. What's the name of the channel?
Good.
Good.
It's under Good Golf. So 450,000 views a day, and your CPM's close to 100. You're making bank. And that's only part of their business. I mean, they have
and
what?
Are you talking, Kyle, or am I just getting ready to get kicked out?
No, you were kind of cutting out.
Good golf.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's my connection.
Yeah, I looked them up on Social Blade earlier. They get 454,000 views a day.
Why can't I fucking find it? Because usually they'd pull up.
Shane, I
So
would
you
be
just
the
say
living hell.
good, right?
Yeah. Here, I'll pull it up if you want me to.
There's get good at golf. Yes, I'd like to see it because to me that's fascinating. Because I keep dropping my social blades a C plus, which sucks. It's kind of where I graduated my life. C plus. What's that?
It is
Share that when you can find it, Kyle. Playboy. Yeah, let me pull something up real quick.
all right. Here we go. Hang on 1 second. Well, that's different numbers than what I saw earlier, but still, I'll show you this. You'll get a kick out of that. Here you go. Look at those numbers.
Holy shit.
13 million views in the last 30 days. And this number here doesn't mean shit as far as the monthly earnings, because that's going off of like $3 CPMs. That's not going off of
No, it's all based on view and retention.
Right.
Views and retention.
Right. So, and that's crazy. There's crazy. Look at that. There's 1,200 accounts with more subs than that. And they got 1.98 million.
That's not a lot. I mean, they're at the top of the chain. Over there on the left, it's showing you like the top ones, right?
Over here,
I think it'll rank it. I think it'll rank it by you can look at them just by who's at the top. And
but my point is that's crazy to think that obviously other channels, even if they got more subs, aren't making the same amount of money as these guys. But there's 1,200 channels with more than 2 million subs. That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And you know that stuff I watch, that crazy mind rot stuff and the Dabbleverse, those guys, they don't even look at ad revenue, because what they do is when their live streams are done, they usually put them behind their member wall because they don't want YouTube to give them a strike, because usually they say something that's against terms of service, but all their revenue comes from super chats.
Well, these guys, so like that group, like the majority of their money doesn't come from YouTube revenue. It comes from other avenues, whether it's, you know, events. They do a ton of money in merch. They do a bunch of big events a year where they do, you know, they're doing well.
Well, yeah, I mean, they could, with that kind of audience, you can do any type of live event, right?
Oh, he does tons, but I'm talking about like in-person live events where they get thousands of freaking people there. So let me tell you another story about this. So based off of this whole group of these creators, right? There are a bunch of different people in that space. Well, so you know who Dave Portnoy is?
Yeah, he's the guy from Barstools, right?
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. But yeah, so he put on this tournament with a bunch of in congruent with some other people, and they put up a tournament up at in the Ozarks at Big Cedar Lodge, which is the guy who owns Bass Pro Shop, and that was one of the sponsors of the event, right? And they had 48 YouTube players that they brought out for this tournament, right? And it was like a 4-day event, and it was a huge, like kind of like a Ryder Cup deal where you got captains, you had to pick teams, and then people. The first day, over half the people got eliminated, but they were playing for $1.7 million. The contestants were.
Holy shit!
No, here's the kicker though. In the first 12 hours that this video was posted, it had 2.4 million views.
How many? 4.2 million?
2.4 million in the first 12 hours.
That's, I mean,
And
that's
the video,
amazing reach.
John, the video was 3 hours and 27 minutes long too.
And I'm sure that's an engaged audience. It's not just watching 5 minutes of it.
It's a vlog style. So you're the first half an hour is all you're doing is watching them talk shit and pick the captains and all that. So you're in it for the first half hour. Then you start watching golf, and then you're in it for more. If you get invested in it. So yeah, I mean it. And they're doing this is like a 6-part video series of this. The episode 2 and 3 were both over 2.5 hours.
Does it follow it like if you're a viewer? Again, I can go watch it, but if you're a viewer, is it kind of like watching a tournament?
Yes. So
but you got personalities because it's kind of like influencer boxing.
Correct. But you're skipping around. So like you're following it like you would a normal, like a Ryder Cup, where you're seeing where all the matches stand as far as the scores. And then they'll bounce back and forth and watch, kind of the highlighted groups. And then they'll go back and see somebody else, how they're doing. Well, this most recent one, was episode 3. He was doing Dave was on top of the tournament. He was doing a skins game. So every hole was worth $4,000. It was 2 players versus 2 players. And every hole was worth $4,000 and carryovers. So the one team got to the last hole, and they were 1 up on the 9th hole, and they were up $28,000. They'd won 7 skins. They were up $28,000 to $4,000 in skins. Well, he's an adrenaline junkie, so he offered that team when they finished the hole, if they wanted to go back to the tee and play until somebody won, he would bump that $28,000 to $100,000 on top of it. But
so viewership probably spikes.
But if they lost the match, and the point went to the other team. And they're playing a team event, so it's not just a 2v2, it's 8v8, but only 2 at a time.
So what they do, dude? I mean, that's you got to tell the rest of the
They turned it down
to play it safe.
Yep, because they, at that point their overall team ended up being up 4-2 versus if they would have lost, it would have been 3-3 tied going into the last.
Unbelievable.
So I think for engagement, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's a dickhead, but he knows what he's doing as far as engagement and trying to drive traffic. But they're only, like I said, they're only on 3 episodes, and they're spacing them like three days apart too. So they're not dropping like every single day for that long, because the first one was 3.5 hours, the second one was like 3 hours, and then the last one was like 2.5 hours. So they're kind of spacing them out so that way people can still stay engaged, and that way if they can't watch it all in one sitting, they can go back and watch it later.
So they keep it all up.
Yeah,
good golf. I'm just going to YouTube now. I found them. Yeah,
the Invitational I'm talking about is it's just called the Internet Invitational. It's on Bob Does Sports. Is the main channel it's on. They rotate. Yeah, this is what it pulled up the last.
It's just good is what it. This is it, right? Let me share what I'm looking at, because it doesn't have.
Hang on a second. All right, so
this is it, right?
Hang on a second. Yeah. All right, so here we go, Bob. John.
1.9 million.
The first video that came out that I was telling you about was 3 hours and 41 minutes long. It came out 7 days ago, and it's got $5.2 million. Or I'm sorry, 5.2 million views already. The one that came out yesterday.
That's insane, and they're getting those long views, because that's where
people are watching the entire
difference
thing. And the one that came out yesterday is already at 2.1 million, and it was 2.5 hours long.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I mean, and they had sponsors on board. So but the thing was cool. they played it completely through. They didn't stop. They didn't do like ad reads. There was no commercials. Like it was all seamlessly intertwined. Like Dunkin' Donuts was part of it, Bass Pro Shop, because they held it there. Like they had partners, but they didn't like interrupt the video to make it.
So you just have a pre-roll video like before it started?
No, you didn't have any video stops at all. It was completely.
So that one, they wouldn't have had a CPM then.
Not necessarily on that one, no. But I'm talking about like just the amount of money that they're bringing as far as like eyeballs, what they're doing with that.
Dude, there's such a small percentage of content creators. I say that. I mean, there's some content creators that make a living on YouTube from different ways. The different ways you can make money are memberships, super chats, ad revenue, affiliate links. Trying to think of other ways. And some channels play that really, really well. And then sponsorships. So a sponsored video. The PPU industry is a good.
Yeah, so like that video we talked about. So yeah, they're not doing ad reads as far as like YouTube ad reads, but all their partners that they have in the event. So like they're playing for 1.7 million. Plus they paid for everyone to travel there. They took care of all their lodging, all the per diem, all that stuff's covered. And Dave was not out of pocket. I think he only had to put up like $500,000. Like 1.2 was already covered in their sponsors.
Is that a Portnoy? Is that his gig?
It's his event. It's not.
Oh, it's his event. I got you.
Well, okay. So some of the people that are there that were playing in it, he has some of his employees that have like a golf channel. So some of those guys were there. So that's how he got kind of interested in it.
That guy, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of DSP, or I always joke about Steel Toe, because Steel Toe will throw out, what is it? Super chats, Rumble rants, PayPal, Venmo. He's got all that shit. And he's constantly hounding people. And the sad thing is, there are people that just throw cash out there.
Yeah. And that Cliff is right. By putting your PayPal out there, you're avoiding the cut from YouTube.
Yeah, and YouTube takes between 30 and 50. Apple is, I don't know how Apple does their ecosystem, but Apple, if it's on an Apple device, you'll make less than if it's on an Android device in terms of a cut.
Yeah. Well, because anything that runs through their app store gets a cut. That's part of their terms and conditions. So even if you're on YouTube through that, it's their app store. It's their app. Or they're using their API to get control of it. So
yeah, Apple's got.
I just thought you would find that interesting as far as the number that they were putting up, and also
the retention.
The retention and the CPM off of that. That those guys are competing so much that they get prime advertisement money. So I think it's pretty telling and pretty engaging, that as far as like, and there's some big personalities in it too. Like some people, like, you love them or hate them, they're big personalities, and that drives traction. Like
hate viewers are the Dabbleverse, that stuff I watch. Hate viewers are the majority of it, and people pay $2 over and over to say something mean to these people. It's grown adults playing like sixth graders. It's insane, dude.
Yeah, they don't do that, but they do. But it's cool to see like the engagement levels and what they can do with it. Because I didn't realize that apparently the finance bros are like the second highest CPM on YouTube. The guys are on there trying to give all this bro advice about, how to get rich and all that kind of stuff. Those guys are making huge revenue banks off of that.
Yeah, because I've never dived into the difference in CPM, and that makes a huge difference. I'm trying to think, what's that guy's name? Marcus. He does a lot of tech reviews.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. brain fart. I can see him.
Marcus. Yeah, and he's I don't know what his story is, but he's a huge earner on YouTube.
Oh yeah, he's massive. But he's also an OG. He's been around for a while. But there's a cool video that he did of him like on his studio. And did the background, the amount of equipment that he's got millions of dollars of studio equipment in his space. So yeah, he's making a ton of money, but he's got a ton of overhead. But he's got like 6 or 7 editors editors that work for him that are part of an editing farm. So he farms out his staff as well too. So he pays his staff, and they also make extra money because they're editing for other channels too.
Yeah, some of those channels are like huge businesses.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I saw a video the other day on. Have you ever heard of XTC? 3 numbers. I think he's a Twitch streamer.
No.
He's a blonde headed dude. I can't even. You can barely understand him because he's got such a deep accent. But he's one of the highest paid YouTubers, not just in his ad revenue, but he's also been a big crypto dude and just Bitcoin. And there was this famous video where Jack Doherty, one of the little cringe YouTubers, was calling him out and wanting to like do some kind of clout cash. You know, I make more because of my OnlyFans management and stuff like that. And XTC's comeback was, dude, I've got a secure disk that's got a Bitcoin wallet that's probably got more than you'll ever make. And allegedly, according to this video, he's almost a billionaire. And it's mainly because of Bitcoin. Granted, he's got a huge following. Go to YouTube and type in XTC. And he might not even have a YouTube channel. I think he does. You've probably seen this guy. I mean, he'll get people. Well, I should have gone with the Playboy card. Let me pull that up.
Some people like production value, and especially when he's reviewing tech, and that's a lot of his channels are tech based. He's got to have good production value. So his is not just his office space, but I'm just talking solely equipment between lighting and cameras and everything else. His team's got well over $1 million in equipment. It's wild.
I'll tell you what's the trip is ranches for sale, 15 million. He's an absolute garbage person, but he's catching the major karma arcs fucking him right now in the head. And a lot of people they're channels that exist just because of these Swedish. There you go. Yeah, a lot of it he's tied to gambling streams too, which a lot of those, like Kick is owned by Stake, right? Kick is basically a gambling platform. But this guy, I was trying to find. So these channels exist that all they do is they'll talk about Jack Doherty, or they'll talk about, some of these other. So they basically creates its own economy. It's bizarre.
Well, Shane knows this, but you go back, and one of the highest paying ad reads that the Pew guys did was same thing with Demo and with Brandon Herrera and those guys was what was that stupid game, that mobile
Candy Crush?
No, the one that was like a mobile raid game or something, Shadow Legends, whatever that was. But they were paying like major bucks for those guys. Like for a 30-second ad read, they're getting. I can't remember how much he said. It was in the big time thousands. I mean, like tens of thousands for 30 seconds.
Because you got the, basically it's advertisers want an engaged audience, and those guys get
Yeah, that's it.
The super engaged audiences.
That's it.
A lot of it's bots. What's that guy's name? Kai Cenat. That's a guy, isn't it?
Oh,
y'all heard of him?
I think I know who you're talking about. He is super annoying, but dude, he gets like crazy engagement.
Yeah, he and they all do live streams, but they live stream all the time.
But they're live streaming like in the same room with each other. It's stupid.
Yeah, this guy's got 14 million subs. I think he's one of the OGs, but he's one that called out XTC, and I can't find. Maybe I'm XQC. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not. This is what this dude looks like, and his production is insane. I mean, his whole house is wired with the greatest cameras. I mean, he's got a staff that works with him that does all of his editing. But like this video 2 months ago has got 2.23 million views. That's just a trailer. His main channel has got 7.3. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, these are OGs. And I think the guy I was looking for before is XQC.
A plastic vault, seeping with paper, searching for a new home. You've been taxed.
How do I get my videos? For some reason, all my videos are set to autoplay, and I've gone into YouTube and I cannot fix that shit. It is maddening. I think it's XQC.
I think it's the same stuff.
Oh, that guy right there. Have you seen that dude before, Kyle?
No.
The blind-headed dude?
No.
So just, you can't even understand this guy.
I don't watch that kind of content though.
It's not my
both hands in the air, both hands in the air. I got AMP's entire net worth on a one USB stick in some safety deposit box somewhere, okay, buddy? We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. See, I'm not even trying to.
I mean, I can't understand the guy, and he gets so many freaking people that watch and engage with his shit. It's insane. But he's got this thick accent that you can barely. Let me see if I can find his channel. Whoops.
Nobody. We don't.
But they've got a whole clout, like little goblins that follow them around.
Shane.
Yeah, kids. And most of their audiences are like 12, 13. You're probably right, Cliff.
Shane. Yeah, Demo made millions, but the issue is it was privacy, and he wanted, safety of his family, which is completely understandable.
Because people, yeah. At some point you become a target. I mean, you see it happen.
Oh no, he was getting, like, his kids recognize him in public, and he was having some scares, and yeah, so it was time to get off the internet.
Yeah, the internet is, and there's a lot of great stuff there, but there's a lot of toxicity.
Very much so.
But it's part of it. I mean, again, I think there's a lot of value in great production quality, but production quality comes from more than just equipment. You've got to have the skills, and I don't own those skills. My brain does not work that way. I'm not creative. I can play music. I don't know why or how. We'll call it hallucinogens, but and a lot of time, but I'm not a creative person, unfortunately. So if I had a nice camera, I wouldn't know how to set up shots. If I knew how to edit, I wouldn't know what I was looking for. So that's why my style is just a little more straightforward, simple crap. But that's what I used to watch too. I mean, that's kind of I look at like Nick Shabazz and Slicey Dicey back in the day.
All right. Well, I am not going to stay real long. I got to get up in the morning and take my mom. She's having surgery, so I got to take her. So.
Oh, dude, I hope it goes well.
Yeah, it's a scheduled one. It's
But you got to take her and wait for her, I guess. Does she get to come home? Is it a day thing?
Yeah, she's just getting she had some pins put in a toe a couple of years back to try to straighten it out. Now that they're not working, or the toes going a different direction, so they have to go in and take the pins back out. So,
and what's scary, Cicero, is in some of these communities, I don't think as much in ours, and maybe it does happen in ours, but things go from the internet to real life. That's why doxing is such a big thing. I mean, my name's out there. I mean, I'm not, incognito, but there have been cases of people, interfering in people's real jobs, doing all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also the difference too, though. You're a single man. If you had young kids at home or whatever, that's a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And I'm small compared to some of these people. By every freaking stretch of the word, but it's still there's a lot of hate. I kind of thrive for it, but
thanks, Cliff. Thanks, Todd. Yeah,
Kyle. I do hope it goes well, brother.
It should be smooth sailing, but it's just a matter of formality, I think. But
get some rest, dude.
So, well, thanks for having me.
No, dude. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with the chat and with me. I appreciate it more than you. And Friday night, dude, try to join because what's his Datcher Knives is going to join us. Greg Datcher, the Huntsville knife maker. I met another knife maker from North Alabama yesterday.
I don't know who that is.
Huh?
So I'm not familiar with the name.
Let me show you real quick before you go. You wouldn't be, because this guy he makes beautiful knives, but he's also an amazing sculptor. He's probably a potter. I'm gonna let him tell his story, but he does all kinds of art. He's got a gallery where he shows stuff, but his knives are, here we go. We carry him down at Knives and More. And then my buddy A to Z is the one that introduced me to, because he was buying some of his fixed blades. And Greg actually brought a bunch to his house. He does his own leather work too. Tell me if y'all can see that.
Yeah, we can see it.
That's one that we had. That's a picture I took.
That's pretty.
He calls it Wave Damascus. Let me show some of his. This will be one of his knives when he pulls it out. But he handmade. Look, see the snake head?
Yep. Pretty sporty.
The dude is an absolute artist. But when you talk about, his heat treats and powder metallurgy and stuff like that, this is the kind of blades
Yeah, so he's not dealing with anything like that.
He's doing kind of arty knives, but he threw those.
Do they break?
They absolutely will. But so he doesn't just do knives. Look at it. Kind of like Jason Grant does tattoos and then takes a lot of that same skill set and puts it into knives. So I call them art knives. I want to let him tell the story because a lot of knife people love his knives and buy his knives. And the blades are sick.
Cool.
Yeah, so he'll be joining us. He's a look at that. He makes stuff like that. You need a custom mask. That's leather.
I don't. I'm sure
he could do Maddie's cod piece. I bet. But that's costume stuff.
Yeah. That stuff to me is like, I'm not into it. So to me, it has zero intrinsic value, but I'm sure it's pretty sporty or pretty valuable to someone.
Yeah. And like something like this. Just different stuff.
Yep. All right, gentlemen. You have a good
All right,
night.
brother.
Thanks, man.
Hey, have a safe day tomorrow. Tell your mom we're thinking about her, and I love you, dude. I appreciate you joining us and sharing the knowledge.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy.
Later.
Later. Sweet. Everybody give Kyle some thoughts and prayers for Miss Mama Kyle tomorrow. I'm sure it'll go smoothly. Costume stuff. Maddie, stop by Friday night before said faction because he's gonna stop by. He's a super guy, very interesting, interesting fella for sure. Rob, have a great night, buddy. Thanks for stopping by and hanging with us. I appreciate you, dude. Absolutely. The other guy I met, let me show you this other young knife maker who is actually, he just graduated. He's a mechanical engineer, I think is what he is by trade. And he makes Flint River Designs. He makes this little knife. And that's a picture I took. But this is a knife that, there he is. Hey, congratulations, Will. He's a big Billy Strings fan. This is his little knife. And it's inspired by I'm not very familiar with, what is it, Montana Knife Makers. They have a knife that he works with a lot of law enforcement offices. So that's who his audience is. You know, this is kind of a close combat little knife, the MK1. Really cool. I'm going to bring one home and do a review on it. It's 80 CRV and G10. And again, inspired by, I wish I knew the Montana knife, because when he was in the shop, we went and looked at it, and this is just a really slick knife. He does all the sanding by hand on the grips. I told him I wasn't crazy about the billboarding, but this is his first deal. The guy's super talented. That's the inspiration where this knife came from. This is kind of the first shape one he made. But the guy is pretty cool. And what's cool to me is these are young people that are, granted, he's going to be a mechanical engineer and he's going to go off and do great stuff, but these guys are making knives right in my backyard. And I just have mad respect for people that can do stuff with their hands, like Joe Isabella, like 1931 Leatherworks. I mean, any of you guys that can work with your hands. There's so many of us who don't and can't and aren't able to, because we're just not skilled like that. So hats off to the people that are freaking talented as shit. It's Montana Knife Company. And thank you, Edgy. Let me pull up the knife that Montana. It's a little, I'll never remember the name of it, but I got a hunting. I'm not going to even get into it. It's the mini Speed Goat. I think that's it. Hold on. Let me pull this up. So this is a knife that a lot of law enforcement organizations were carrying, and he wanted to make something better and something that was, this is it. It was more, this is what he wanted to compete with when he designed that knife. Because I asked him, pop up, fucking this little guy. And it's evidently a super popular knife, but he said there's no reason this knife should cost $200. And I'm sorry, my computer's so slow, guys. Their pop-ups are ridiculous. That's also will slow down your computer. But he says this is really, really thin. Looks like a cool knife. I'm not a fan personally of wrapped handles. I like a handle on a knife, but that's what he, was going after. And it's a cool little knife. Yeah, they are priced pretty high. And I've heard they've done some totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. And I talked to him about that. There's also something else, Shane, that that I learned about. He has them not laser. What are they done? They're water jetted. And there's some issues that happen with water jetting blades that he can't even fix in some cases. Super nice guy. Cool little knife. Again, it's made for somebody that wouldn't use it like I would. I'm the guy that cuts cardboard. It's not that kind of knife. It's more of a slicey, but it's more of a pokey stabby. Oh God, Paul. I used to carry, I don't keep it anymore, but I've got a Google sheet that's old that I used to keep my entire collection up until about a year and a half ago. I have every knife, and I haven't cleaned it out to the ones that I've traded or given away, but I never would push subtotal or auto sum. I didn't want to see it all. I have each knife, what the retail was, what I bought it for. God, I can't imagine what I personally have spent on knives. And what's bad is I could log into DLT, River's Edge Cutlery, Blade HQ, and get it spit out, but I don't want to know. Poker, that's true. That's true. Or sharpen a screwdriver. Coil spring is what a lot of those, or a railroad spike. But some people collect, really expensive cards, Pokemon cards, sports cards, memorabilia, watches. There are a lot of, I look at knives a lot differently now than I did when I carried a Kershaw and was not a knife guy. I look at them kind of as functional art, and it's kind of an addiction in a way. I mean, I came for the knives. If it wasn't for a community that I really value more than the knives, I would have probably moved on. I did the same thing with skateboards for years. Musical equipment. I mean, I was always spending money stupidly on shit I didn't need that were more want type things. This is a cool Kaiser, in my opinion. This is the I'll mispronounce it. Staffy, I think is how it's pronounced. Compound ground, clutch lock. And as far as bar style locks, they're not my favorite, but Kaiser does them as well as anybody does with their adjustable S springs, or got a little snap. And you look at this compared to the Strike. And what's so impressive about this little guy is it's the same size as a mini bug out. But if you look at them, that choil on the Shrike in front of the pivot is jimped. So that's for you to put your hand. You can see that you've got so much more ergonomical real estate. You got a shorter blade. You don't have as much cutting area, but this little knife is just, that's where you're supposed to grab it. And it just feels comfortable for a small knife. Now, the people I showed it to at work at Knives and More thought it was horrific looking. I kind of like it. I like pokey stabby, and it's super slicey. Multiple deployments, so it's a front flipper. Got thumb studs, and it's got a little blade hole. I think this is a winner. The top sale was probably my favorite, and I gifted that to a friend of mine over in Atlanta for a gift. I think it was important to her. But Kaiser's killing it. Hey, those things are freaking sharp. And Paul, we used to collect, we used to go in Alabama and Madison before they developed it all out there. We had a bunch of friends that were dove hunter buddies of ours, and we would go, when they plow the fields, we would go out there and we would hunt arrowheads. And you'd find parts and pieces. And my dad had found over the years a couple that are almost perfect in terms of their, like, they don't have any chips out of them. They're just great looking arrowheads. And those things are freaking sharp. And these are like thick arrowheads. But yeah, they, you know, we've used sharp stuff for a long time. And some people like sharpening. I'm one of those people. I enjoy sharpening knives. So if the edge is not giving me the longest retention, that's, you know. And I know a lot of these guys and a lot of these steels are, the reason that a lot of these makers use a lot of these steels is because they're asked. That's what their customers expect for whatever reason. You know, and I agree with Edgy that with education, you can, you know, move a market. But is it necessary? Sweet. You're a sharpener. That's so cool. In dry riverbeds, you're probably going to find a lot better. Well, they could get tumbled down the river. We would hunt literally in cornfields here in North Alabama. That's awesome, Cicero. Yeah, do what you love. And, you know, I think if you look at knife makers, I could be wrong, but I think very few of them develop to be a luxury type business. But there's a lot to be said for doing something that you like being around, that you like doing, that you're passionate about. Because what it took me a long time to learn is time is a commodity you never get back. And if you're going to have to do something you love. I, for a long time, and I love digital marketing. Digital marketing, I'm still always learning. I want to learn about it. So I go to the same Google sites. I keep my certifications up, but it's not like I love knives. If I loved knives and had followed that, you know, if I would have been able to create a business from knives because I can't make a knife, but I think I could have helped or could help a lot of knife companies market because they're a Google prohibited product. So you can't advertise through normal methods. You can do print, you can do some print, but like Knives and More, the little store I work for, they couldn't put an ad on TV, on the air. They couldn't do Google AdWords because it's considered a weapon. So social media and doing things like that and collaborating with other people is the best way for them, really the only way to market. And what happened to Knives and More is their Facebook page, and they got an email about it, got I guess shadow banned, which is happening because they've got knives in the title.
all done by AI. Finds that stuff, and you can appeal it with a click. But they used to, yeah, it sucks. It does suck. Damn. Disrupting artifacts. I guess since we would hunt these on private property after they would, and this was back late 70s, early 80s. But yeah, that's nuts, dude. And I guess if you're at a archaeological dig, but I know that stopped huge construction projects when they go in and they survey it and they find any kind of burial ground or something like that that's, ancient. It'll throw that shit off. I wonder where brother, let's go to making memories. Let's look at something real quick and see where our buddy Richard Hopkins is on his journey. I call him the roaming gnome affectionately. He's got a great life plan, and his page is Making Memories, one of his pages. And they are traveling till right about Christmas. They left, let's see when this was posted. They're at Chautauqua Lake. This was 5 days ago. So if you see this little thing right here off the back of their RV, that's a Starlink satellite. So if they're in a very tree-covered area and they don't have a good view of the sky, they don't get internet. There's their little Starlink there. But they've got a great setup. I mean, that's just the way to do it. They took out, I think, early October. I'm trying to think when they stopped by here. They stopped by my house October 6th. So early October, I think they left out maybe late September. The Roman gnome, they made me feel tall. But that little, just a great little setup. He's customized that thing so much. And they spend, a good 3-4 months out of the year traveling. And that's the type of thing when you talk about life, quality of life. I don't do it enough. But if you get caught up in an office, you can't put value on memories. I think memories, when you get to be reflective like I am, memories are what it's all about. And seeing beautiful shit like this, I think, is just the way to do it. I think that's the plan. I think to simplify your life and just have a wandering spirit. Awesome stuff. I'm going to drop them. Brother Richards, he's also got his but usually he's in the chat, so I guarantee you he is enjoying nature. Stevie. The ancient burial grounds. Has anyone seen? Dude, that's crazy. Derek's real. I haven't seen him in a while. And you know who I was thinking about the other day who lives close to me? I haven't seen Bama Ninja in a long while. Are you traveling, Stevie? You probably are traveling. I'm glad you're in the hang. I'm glad you're in the hang, buddy. Robin, I'm glad you're here too, dude. Which was that? What y'all talking about that you wish you bought but you didn't? One thing that I've learned as a night, and I should do a video, but it's my experience, so it really wouldn't translate. But Montana next week, home this week, Montana next week. Well, if you got to travel for work, that's a beautiful state to be in. I bet Stevie will be honey bucketing. I don't know what the weather's like up there. It's gotten chilly here, so it's probably gotten pretty cold out at the honey bucket. But Stevie doesn't get cold. He's a manly man. He's a real man. He comes from the Valley of Men. And you should see. I don't know if it's on his page, but he had a van before they got that camper that they converted. It's very, very cool because he did that. Basically, took a cargo van and built it out. This guy right here. This was their first. I was trying to see the inside of it. Hold on. So he was showing me what all he did to build it out. It was really, really a super cool van when they got done with it. And I think he's got a couple of videos, maybe shorts on here where they're where he's tricking it out. But it does not look like a cargo van anymore. I mean, it's like, again, they sold this one and got the other one, but this is really cool. Cajun van travelers. He is a Cajun, a Rasian Cajun. He's vertically challenged like me, but they've got a bunch of cool people that they see all around the country. So to me, it just seems like a cool lifestyle. Maybe that's the deadhead in me. But something about hanging out around a bunch of other people that are just kind of into wandering. That's the way I think. Here you go. That kind of shows the van build. But yeah, I hope Brother Richard's having a great, great trip. Stevie, do you ever? Well, you couldn't do live from the honey bucket from anywhere except the honey bucket. I hope he doesn't dig up Chef Lou Diamond. Yeah, if y'all have ever, there are a bunch of documentaries called Meth Mountain, things like that. That's where Shane lives. He's around a ton of that shit. We all are. Hey, Ron Crow, channel member, welcome, my friend. I'm just talking about nothing, really. Don't do meth and go to jail. No doubt. No doubt, dude. That's a fact, Jack. There's a bunch of shit going on right now with a lot of big companies, tech companies and others laying off shitloads of upper management because they don't need them anymore because AI basically, with the right scripts, can do a lot of those projections and stuff that those people did. What AI can't do is interact with other people yet in terms of like do service type of trade type of real work. But I've learned to embrace it. And what I'm trying to do is learn about it, not learn how to code with it. but learn. There are a lot of sites that talk about prompts, which what they call how to ask AI questions in the right way to where it can produce really good data back, right? So it's how you ask the different whatever you want to use. I use Chat GPT, but Meth Mountain Day, sweet. That's what's it called when I drive over? That's when you go down 431, Lacey Springs, on the other side of Lacey Springs, right? I think it is. I used to drive there every day. I had the right over it. And you'd be surprised. Maybe not. I'm trading my dude. It's. I'm telling you, it sucks. But what I've learned, and I haven't employed any of it yet, but there's a lot of exactly, and they're important in a lot of industries. And I think there'll be a shakeout for a while. But you can go ask AI with certain prompts. You can tell it what you're good at and tell it to come up with 7 ways to create revenue streams. I mean, there's some amazing shit that you and I, everyday people, can gain from using AI if you know how to interact with it. And there are a lot of websites that talk just exactly about that: how to update your resume, how to prepare for an interview, what likely questions are going to be asked. It's just amazing, some of the stuff. It's scary, but we're in a very transitional, I would say, economy, and the world right now is in a transitional place. So the simulation is getting rocky. And we've got an asteroid that's allegedly a spaceship that's going to stop around, Thanksgiving or Christmas? Hey, it works. The AI made the little Javon up in the top there holding the fret. That was AI. I just uploaded a picture into Bazaar, one of the 2 apps I use. I guess, to be honest with you, Canva is an AI app, and that's what I use for all my thumbnails, for my backgrounds, for stuff like this was done in Canva. Let me put a different one up. That's a Canva background. That's a Canva background. But I still think when you look at stuff that's real design, like that designers like Pocket Metal, people that know what they're doing can do, it looks better than AI, because my stuff sucks. Even when I use AI did my songs too. That's a little an app called, what's it called? The free app. You can get it if you want to do a lot of songs, which I don't. You can get a paid version, but it's called Sumo, I think. SUMO. But I just said hip hop song for blah, 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 and it cranked this shit out.
Late night, patty whack, give a dog a bone, grab a snack, sit right back and never be alone.
That's from one sentence into a music generator thing, which is scary that it can do that shit. But, my point is, I knew I'd never be able to program shit because I'm not a programmer, never was, couldn't do any of that. What is up? I agree, but you can't fuck AI because it won't give it up. And it's not soft and mushy, but it's not going away. So again, it's not that it's going to replace, it's replacing certain things, but I just think that if you embrace it, not every industry needs to embrace it, but for somebody like me, who's kind of a freelance dude, who's looking for ways to create income streams, I'm hoping that as I learn to ask it questions, maybe it can help me do that. Honey Bucket, dude, they'd have the best drops, the best songs. They're just creative people. They're funny as fuck too. I get it. I'm just telling you, man, you once the gates open and the horse is out, it's going to be hard to push it back in. And again, I'm not going to be scared of it. Personally. But maybe we'll send somebody back from the future to destroy it like they did in Terminator. What's wild to me is drones. That's the shit that keeps me up at night. And that big ass spaceship. Let me find that. What's it called? Asteroid spaceship. What's it called? The thing that's got astronomers, 3i Atlas. Have y'all checked any of that? Have y'all familiar with that? NBC News. Let's see. Now, Elon thinks it's natural that it's just a comet, but it's this thing. I mean, so you got a crazy world, you got AI, and then you got this big ass thing coming into the solar system that is pretty weird. I mean, you can go watch any of this stuff about Atlas 3i, and it is very, very strange. It's a very strange occurrence. And it could just be natural, some weird space shit. I don't know. But there are all kinds of different what ifs. You don't have to pick a side. They can coexist, dude. You can have, that's narrow-minded. You can have both. You have both. I mean, they're both out there. And you got, all kinds of shit. I take the knives too. Yeah, they've got like they've got mega. I'm not saying there's nothing bad with that. I mean, you can think that way. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there's no right way to think or wrong way to think. They're just different ways to think. I think they can both exist because they do. It's just there's AI and there's cool knives. Yeah, that was just, not there's anything wrong with that. I'm overtly broad-minded because I think shit so I don't understand any of it. I don't get it. So I ride it like a surfboard. But the thing about AI is if you're trying to learn how to do something, not make knives, but if you're trying to learn how to do something that's written, AI will do it for you. I'm sure they design knives with AI. I don't know how to. But they're not going to be as cool as handmade shit. And that'll never be replaced. That's why, like Stevie said, a good tradesman, somebody that knows how to do something with their hands, that's going to be, you're kind of insulated from that shit until they have robots that have creativity. And I don't know how that could happen. No, I absolutely appreciate Donnie's craftsmanship. Donnie knows that I'm not, we think differently about shit. We can hug it out and know that we're different. Dare to be different. Oh, Stevie, my mind is so cluttered. If I could sell tickets, nobody would buy them to ride through my mind. It is a fucking mess. It is a cluttered mess. I won't, dude. I have hugged you, though. We're about the same height. He makes the finest or one of the finest knives I've ever experienced, without a doubt. And he does it by hand, which I don't know anybody else. It's the finest handmade knife I've ever experienced, without a doubt. I mean, Donnie wears that crown. And he can do it consistently with his hands. And that's a skill that to me is like magic. I mean, I don't get it. It's no matter how much I practiced, I would never be able to get it. He's got it down. And I'm sure he will say he gets better every time he does it. Dude, you make beautiful shit. Absolutely beautiful shit. Be up. Every day. Every day, all day. Take time a lot. It takes, you got to have the vision. You think about it. I mean, you have to, Donnie had to envision that shit before he built that shit. So to come up with it is something that I can't do. To machine it with his hands and just the few tools he uses to get the tolerances that he gets, I don't get it. To me, it's like I say, it's like magic. That's why I appreciate and love to support that type of talent. Dude, I'm telling you, he's going to get very, very busy. He is already very busy. I mean, I think Donnie, how many, like, what's it take you to make a knife? I mean, I'm trying to think how many you make. I know you busted your ass before Blade Show and we're working right up to Blade Show to get the knives ready. But there's a lot of hours that go into each one of those blessed knives. Yeah, but there's a difference in just liking make stuff and being able to make shit that's precision. And again, liking it, you got to like it to want to perfect it. That's a fact, Jack. So 40 hours, 20 to 40 hours. And you probably have to add 20 to that because I'm sure you're looking at it. That's amazing, dude. And if y'all have not been, I'm sure everybody here is following Blessed Knives on Instagram. Share his post when you see posts because Instagram is not going to organically let new people see that shit. So I always try to put stuff like that on my stories. But make sure you're giving Brother Donnie some love on Instagram. I know you don't, dude. I wouldn't. I rep your shit because I like your shit. I've always told you that, dude. I'm a huge Blessed Knives fan. I love what you do, and I call it shilling for brothers. If I didn't know you, I would love your shit. But knowing you makes it that much cooler. And the bottom line is growth, organic growth in this sector, unless you're out there doing knife shows, which are very expensive. They don't happen all the time. With a little help from your friends, sharing posts on social media can be very important to help companies like not just Donnie, but Joey Roman. I can think of a bunch that I read their posts of frustration on Instagram because their reach is so small. You know, they'll build 9 knives and show them to drop, and, you know, not many people see those posts. So if you see stuff like that for people that you follow, it's always good to throw it on your story just because it might see some more eyeballs. Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. Donnie's a good egg, and his work is, again, it's as good as any I've seen. And there's some awesome, awesome shit to be seen because he's another one that does it and shows you how he's doing it if you watch his Instagram or his YouTube. But when you see something that starts, let me get down to some raw shit. Look at that. Look at that freaking grind. Look at that plunge line. I mean, look how even. Pause. Look right there and right there. And that's not done with the machine, boys and girls, or a CNC. But when you look at how this stuff starts, I think he makes everything except his hardware. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know for Brother Scotch, he made his first lock bar insert, and there's a cool video of him hand filing that shit. That's mind blowing. But I mean, it's just done impeccably well by hand. And to flip one of these knives is just next level. First time I experienced it, Dopey walked up to me at Blade Show 2023 and had one in his pocket. And I didn't realize Donnie, because Donnie was there too, but I didn't realize he was a maker. But just gorgeous, gorgeous shit. He did a custom for Stevie that the art, I mean, he came up with that design knowing that what Stevie, or anticipating what Stevie had in mind, if I'm not mistaken, and then sent it to Stevie to see if it was if he'd hit it the way he thought, and he did. So there's Donnie and his bro at Blade Show after a killer Blade Show. So yeah, I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous knives that have tolerances that shouldn't be able to be done by hand. I mean, just sick. I will one day have a blessed knife. It's going to be another lifetime. I've got to get my, look at the surface treatment on those scales. And the jimps in that blade are done by a file, I think. He made that. And that. Go back to those plunges that are perfect. I mean, that's just next level. Ripley, next level gorgeous shit, brother. Y'all go follow Brother Donnie. Or loader. Stevie, which one's that, brother? Is that a bless? What's funny is for somebody who is in, I guess you'd say, the knife world, there's so many knives that I learn about every time I have a live. I mean, I see such a small part. Ah, yes, yep. That's what you call her.
I got you. I got you, brother. Hey, I don't know if anybody's heard or if there's anything official, but I think Gavin kind of won the Microtech pushing match. I think we talked about that in a lot of the. Go to Microtech's page whenever you get a chance and look at the differences in Gen 3 and Gen 4 Ultratechs. This is where if they sell these in your store and we're not a legal state, this is Farm Bill stuff, but it's Crescent 9 sparkling seltzer. They also have my favorite's the grape lemonade soda, but those always sell out. A very nice, refreshing THC. Oh, Donnie, it's a great knife. I've got one of the Zero Blade plays and love that knife. And that's the one that, Cicero, this one's 50. But yeah, 10s are the best flavor that I've had are the Jones soda. I don't know if y'all have ever had Jones sodas, and those are just good old sugary, delicious sodas. They've got a Jones soda high version that are 10 milligrams. I like to taste like I'm chewing my way through a ganja field with just a little bit of raspberry on the side. You could make it if you put your mind to it. I know you got the what it takes. I mean, I've never taken one of mine apart, but there's no doubt that Donnie Bless could make an OTF. Jones Soda is local there. You're exactly right. And my favorite is I've got a can of it over there, an empty can, the blueberry I had a green apple the other night and I forget what the blue one's called. But yeah, Jones makes a Jones Soda High now. It's non-alcoholic, but it's got THC in it. And if you can buy one that you like and spend your time in doing what you like. Yeah, green apple is the bomb. All their colas are good though, even the non-high version. But I love my Microtech. And then what hurt me was the fact that Gavin came out, and had sent them a cease and desist, and they told him to pound sand. The verdict of that is Microtech is not offering Zero Blade play in Generation 4. It has been discontinued. And when you go to their page, their internal documentation, the Gen 3 is all about how great Zero Blade play is, and the Gen 4 is just we discontinued Zero Blade play. If I was in charge of that copy, if I had written that web page, I would have done it differently. Because you wouldn't build something up in Gen 3 to take it away in Gen 4 unless the big hand of justice had slapped you. Allegedly. Don't come after me, Tony. I'm innocent. Didn't mean it. No, I've kind of gotten, and I saw a Protec first, and I guess Heretic makes them. I love the single actions, the ones you have to really crank the spring back to load it. I like to vape. I used to be a combustor, but edibles to me, they're great if you're like at a place where you can't vape or smoke. But for me, vaping, when I came back to the herb, the devil's lettuce, so to speak, all my friends, because I was off for like 6 years, had quit combusting it and started vaporizing it. So I totally embraced that and love the fact that you can I'm a flower guy.
But there's a lot to be said for being able to walk around Blade Show and vape, and it just works. It works. And I'm sure because when I instead of having ash when I dump it out, it looks like coffee grounds. So I used to take that and I'd mix it in Nutella because it's carbon. At that point, it's been heated up enough to where it can be turned into edibles, what's left of it. But it just seems healthier. But I only vape dry flower. I'm a flower guy. I'm not a concentrate guy. Not that there's anything wrong with concentrates. They're just too messy for me. Sticky, messy. And they also hit like a banning ninja. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all. No, and I'm, word. I want to share one more homie who I did not become aware of until I forget. I think I want to say it was 5 Door. Maybe it wasn't, but somebody gifted me this little knife. I fell in love with it. I reached out to Marlboro and told them anytime they wanted to send something to the channel, I would be happy to review it. And I don't have to, you don't have to give me anything to review it. I'll send it back to you. I could be done with it in a week because I'm not doing a hard review. I'm doing more of a show and tell of craftsmanship. And Marlboro Handcraft, I think his name's Jesse, sent me this knife that I was going to send back to him. But instead, I sold a knife and I bought this knife because it is so thin and it's so slicey. My Carta handles, I think it's 51-200 steel that I'm not that familiar with. But for a cat food opener, this thing is slicey. And the little prick that started it all, Jesse got his start making kitchen knives. I'm going to show you his page real quick. Who's a maker I was not aware of. Again, I would have never come across him had that little prick not shown up. It's the man that makes it happen. He has some funny content too. But there's a little prick. That thing is thin. It's small. That little guy's, I want to say 5 inches or a little bit less. But he makes some neat knives. He makes kitchen knives too. Because that's where he got his start. Marlboro Handcraft. And this is a Girach. That's the name of the knife. He does just a great job. I'm a big fan. Love his stuff. Hopefully he will join us on a Friday Night Flicks sometime soon. He's got an open invitation. I mean, beautiful work. There's so many talented people. It's just, but his little knives are just little slicers. And that budge is a wicked slicer. Now, it doesn't have a dedicated blade guard, but it doesn't need one because the way the handle get to it. And I asked him what inspired that design, where he came up with it. And when he first started forging knives,
he hammered his first one out, and it sat around his shop forever. And then he started refining it. That's his. But the behind the edge thickness, I want to say it's 0.080, something like that. That's a budge with Butte micarta. Just cool stuff. I mean, there's so many talented people. Knives are cool, man. But y'all go follow Marlboro Handcraft. He's definitely a winner. Makes cool shit. Oh, said Stevie's got some. Got some Lex Custom International on his Deca. Nice. As he stands there by the volcanoes. He's so brave. Brother Jim, I'm just scrolling down my feed. A little Shadow. It's a great knife from TRM. Mangana Steel. Sharif showing off his photography skills and his design skills. That dude's got an eye for, see, I can't set out a picture like that. I mean, that takes somebody's brain to say, well, that'll make a good picture, and then have the facility to be able to make that picture. I don't have that way. I mean, I can throw shit on a handkerchief or a hank and take a picture of it. Cool little knife there. That's one of Loot 10, New Breed EDC's designs, the Rays. That is a killer knife. Cool shit all the way around. Aurelia, probably one of the best knives out there. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar. It's a good one. OEM by Riot, designed by Maddie, the mysterious black cat. Check that bad boy out. Benchmade Knife Company. I was trying to see, because I always get that. I'll see that meteorite always shows up in my feed. I don't know where it is. It'll have little blurbs, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it's freaky. Y'all look into it. That's that. Instagram's cool, man. Even though I can't grow there. I cannot grow. But the trick is to try to collaborate. And by doing that, they've got a button that you can click. Instead of tagging people, you can invite them to collaborate. They'll very rarely accept it, but if they do, it'll get you a lot of views because it opens you up to their audience. That's why when you share on Instagram, it opens that maker's work up to your audience. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Makers, I'm talking about makers that have to use it, or like Knives and More that has to use it, a retailer, because they can't advertise. Now, I know not everybody is going to get, dude, you're growing organically because you make cool shit. I'm talking about people who are, just trying to get some reach out there. Somebody like Marlboro Handcraft or Joey Roman, those guys that have been on Instagram for a long time and, feel kind of shadow banned because unfortunately, their livelihood is considered a prohibited product by Google. Social media sucks, but we all exist in it, unfortunately, or fortunately. I do it by choice, so I can't really complain. I started making videos right around the time Knives Live. I was just doing shorts so I could be part of Knives Live. And then I just started talking about knives because I had so many. But again, my big
Achilles heel is I'm not in my comments. Leave a comment and hopefully somebody in the chat will answer it. They seem to do a good job answering each other's comments, but I'm never in there. I've got way too much social anxiety to climb that mountain. And I agree with Kyle. Kyle laid it out for me how to chomp it off in bite-sized bits. But I don't know, man. Life is you hang out all the time with us, brother. You're welcome here anytime. Everybody's welcome here. Everybody's welcome here. And the thing is, that's why I always say, choose debate, not hate. We're not always going to align on everything. That doesn't mean that we don't align on things that are very important to us, like knives, like, good people. You don't have to align. We're all different. That's what makes it interesting. Buy the ticket, take the ride. That is the word of the day. Ride that shit and enjoy it. Set your sail into the wind and go. Go, go, go. Life is interesting, Robin. It's an absolute trip. It is, I still wonder the reflective part of it. The older I get, it's weird. It is freaking weird. And the more you learn, the less you know, because you realize how insignificant. I think in my youth, I thought I was more important than I was into what I was doing or whatever, however I identified with myself, however I gave myself self-worth, which was always flawed because it comes from other places, not from the shit that I was measuring it by. But again, time is a commodity, people. That's why if you can enjoy it, make the best of it. Shit's going to always be difficult. It's always going to be challenging. But make the best of that day. If you're having a shitty day, you can maybe make somebody else's day better by just saying, hey. Say, hey, yo. Well, guys, it's 12:30. It is late. I am getting ready to chill and jump into guys, Grateful Panic's live streams is where a lot of us met. I met Stevie there. I met some of my best friends in the world that I've met in person now too. But these live streams, the reason mine aren't, and I'm not a good streamer, but I just want to have a place to hang out. I don't want to come here and show different websites necessarily. I do like to look around on Instagram, usually because somebody mentions something in the chat, a knife that I haven't heard of. But it's all about community to me. And I love it. I love seeing people chat with each other, place to hang out. Everybody's welcome. You don't have to agree with everybody in the chat. Just come and hang out if you like it. If not, there's so many great other places to hang out, right? There's cool shit everywhere you look, and there's a lot of bad shit. So, choose wisely. Go with what you love. Go with each other. And like I always say, choose debate, not hate. Look out for the guy or gal to your left. Always look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. And choose debate, not hate. If you have to hate with an open mind. Guys, I love you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. Friday night, if you're around, come meet Greg Datcher, Datcher Designs. He's a very interesting cat. I can tell you that. You will be surprised with what all he does. I love you all. Peace.
The light went out because we left a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna want to make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Juvon's weirdness and get high on cigarettes.